Kroger Tenderay Beef, no other beef so fresh can be so tender, presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. There's a truly wonderful day waiting for you and your family sometime in the near future. That's the day when you can once more treat your family to a grand and glorious dinner of fresh and tender Kroger Tenderay beef. Now, we can't tell you just when that long-awaited day is going to arrive. However, we can say that we have hopes it will be soon. That's right. Soon you may be able to get all you want of fresh-tasting, tender, and juicy Kroger Tenderay beef. And when that does happen, you'll know that once more Kroger is able to get top grades of grain-fattened cattle. For only the very top grades of fine grain-fattened cattle are used for Kroger Tenderay beef. Then it's made naturally tender in just 3 days by the famous Kroger Tenderay method. It's always fresh, because through Kroger's own Tenderay method, there's no need for wasteful aging or loss of savory juices. And there you have the reasons why no other beef so fresh can be so tender. Yes, and here's something else you'll want to keep in mind. Until that time, you can again buy Kroger Tenderay beef at your neighborhood Kroger store. Just remember that whenever beef is available, Kroger will bring you the best, the very best. And now, Hearts in Harmony. There's danger of trouble in the Billings household because Jed Billings has given Freddie Lang a job in his office. But Penny has no hint of this as yet, and as she sits in her living room with Freddie this evening, she says,
"Oh, Freddie, this is the beginning of something new for you."
Yeah, Gibbsy, it's something. Right and okay, too. Me with a job. The laugh, ain't it? An honest job to make an honest dollar. I feel like somebody else. Just think about it.
Well, think about it a lot, Freddie. You're going to have to, because Jed's a pretty demanding boss. You'll have to learn fast and do a job for him at the same time.
Hey, I ain't getting into no rock pile, am I?
No, Freddie. No, Jed won't work you quite that hard, but he'll keep you busy. Anyway, you want to be busy. You'll be happier.
The new Freddie Lang, huh?
Uh-huh.
Nah, Gibbsy, I'm still the same old no-account, good...
No, Freddie, I don't want you to talk about yourself like that.
Why not? I'm only calling myself what I am, what everybody else is calling me.
Who have you heard saying anything about you?
Oh, lots of people around the town. In the drugstore, down at the grocer's when I went out to get that bag of grub for you. Did I say I didn't have no rep in this town, Gibbsy? I was wrong. I got a rep all right. Bad one.
Yes, you have, Freddie. A very bad one. But you live it down. You make even me wonder whatever happened to that flip smart aleck of a young man who came to my door a couple of weeks ago and asked for Professor Rogers.
I checked in here just a couple of weeks ago, huh? Seems more like a couple of years.
Well, a lot's happened since you arrived in Lossville.
Yeah, most of it to you on account of me. Gibbsy, I want to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell you something, and I don't know how exactly. So it may not come out exactly the way I want it to, but...
But what?
But, Gibbsy, you've done more for me in the last couple of weeks than all the rest of the people in this world have done for me my whole life. You put up with my lies, you got me out of scrapes, you gave me a place to stay, you got me a job, and... Look, you sit here and you talk to me even. You don't get too sore when I go off the deep end and say something I shouldn't.
That's because I like you, Freddie.
Why, Gibbsy? What's it like about me?
Oh, there's a lot.
Oh, don't answer that now, Gibbsy. I didn't say that to get a pat on the back, see? I was just wondering out loud, I guess. You shouldn't like me, Gibbsy. I'm bad for you. I don't want to be, but I am.
No, Freddie, I don't think you're bad for me.
I know, Gibbsy, I know. I know me. I know what I'm like inside. I'm all knotted up inside, like a ball of old frazzled string. No, like a spring that's flattened down and there's only a little thread holding it down there. And that thread's going to bust one of these days, Gibbsy, and the spring's going to jump up and I'm going to get hit by it right here in my middle where I'm all knotted up, see? I'm going to go crazy or something. I'm going to do something crazy, something wrong or awful or even worse. And then I'm going to be sorry. You're going to be sorry, too. Worse than that, Gibbsy, you're the one that's going to be hurt.
But just what do you think we ought to do about it?
Guess let me get away from here. Far away. From here and from you. I've already hurt you, Gibbsy, but bad. And I don't ever want to hurt you no more.
I don't think you ever will, Freddie.
No, Gibbsy, that crack's just about dumb enough to come out of me.
Look, let's not go into it anymore. Let's not worry about things that are far in the future. Let's worry about tonight and tomorrow and that job of yours with Jed. If we worry about the little things one at a time just as they come along, we'll beat them as they come along.
Well, if you say so, Gibbsy.
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind, that's the way I want it.
That's the way you want it. That's the way it's going to be. Right and okay. I didn't mean to get all wound up like that in the first place. Just wanted to thank you for what you've done for me.
I haven't done anything for you, Freddie, and you don't even ever have to thank me.
I figure different than that, Gibbsy. You know, so far, I've been on the taking end of everything around here, and it's time I sort of gave up something, even if it ain't too much. Tell you what, Gibbsy, the first paycheck I get from my job, you and me were going out on a blow, huh?
No, Freddie, I don't want you to spend all your money on me.
Oh, you let me worry about how much to spend.
No, Freddie. I won't have you spending too much. Not your first paycheck, anyway.
Well, okay then, but what can I do for you, Gibbsy? Maybe something special?
You really want to know, hmm?
Mm-hmm. Then there is something.
Yep. You haven't played the piano since the first time when the professor and I caught you at the keyboard. Play something for me, will you? I'd like that very much.
Oh, no, Gibbsy, I ain't good enough to play for nothing but just to kill some time.
I think you're very good.
Then you don't know a good piano when you hear it.
Do you?
Me? Sure I do. You know, I went to a concert once. Oh, I didn't buy no ticket. I sneaked in through an exit. That's the only reason I went, you understand? Just for the fun of seeing if I could sneak in without paying.
You're sure that was the only reason?
Well, part of the reason anyway, Gibbsy.
Mm-hmm.
You see, somebody told me that the guy played a pretty mean piano. Well, I just wanted to hear what all the shouting was about, and the guy was pretty good, too. He had a goofy name, 20 miles long with a
Now,
ski
look,
on
Freddie,
the
you're
end.
not going to talk your way out of playing the piano for me.
No chance to do that.
No, not a chance. Now, come on, sit down and play something.
Okay, Gibbsy, but don't you forget now, you asked for this. Anything special you'd like to hear?
No, but anything you feel like playing.
Okay. How about this?
That was wonderful.
Freddie, where did you ever learn to play the piano the way you do?
Well, Mrs. G, I tell you. You see, when I got through learning, the guy that taught me, he paid me $10 never to tell anybody he was responsible.
Freddie, tell me, please, where did you learn to play?
Well, what's so important about that? I learned a little. What does it matter where?
You went to a school, did you not?
You mean some of that school rubbed off on me enough so that it shows?
Well, then you did go to a school.
Well, yeah, I did a sort of broken-down music school for broken-down guys like me. but I didn't stay there too long.
Oh, but you must have Freddie to learn to play so well.
Nah, I know how to handle a keyboard before I even decided to dig what music was all about. See, I went to the school about 6 months, and then I ran out of dough.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, but maybe you wouldn't think so if you knew where I got that dough, Gibbsy.
Where?
Now, where do you think I got it? I stole it, most of it.
Oh, Freddie, how awful.
I didn't swipe too much, Mrs. G, and not for too long, neither. I got me a job in a honky-tonk down by the river, playing for nickels, dimes, and bums.
Well, I'm surprised they let you at your age.
Oh, the guys who run those dives, they don't care. The cops do, though. That's when I had my first run-in with them, Gibbsy. They chased me out of a job that I needed. Even if it stank, I needed that job. And I'm going to get even with those
Freddie,
guys.
you're not.
Okay, sorry I said it, Gibbsy. Skip it.
Tell us more about your piano.
There's nothing to tell. Ain't worth talking about it. It's just that...
Oh, the doorbell. I'll go get it. Maybe you'll play something more for us, Freddie.
Nah, nothing doing, Gibbsy. Messing up one song a day is enough for me.
Good evening, Miss Gibbs.
Professor Rogers, what a surprise. Come in.
Thank you. I have a surprise for you, too.
You do?
Mm-hmm. Freddie in?
Well, you're always at the piano with Suzanne. Come in. We're trying to get Freddie to play something for us.
Oh. Well, maybe he'll want to when he hears the good news. Oh, good evening, Mrs. Gibbs.
Professor Rogers, hello.
Hello, Freddie.
Oh, hi there, Prof. Well, now that you're here, maybe these dames will let me crawl off in a corner where I belong.
Oh, you won't have much time for crawling into corners from now on, Freddie.
No?
No. I hear you're going to be busy working for Mr. Billings during the day.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're going to be working nights, too.
Huh?
Is this the surprise you have for us?
That's right, Miss Gibbs. Freddie, I've made a little deal for you up at the university.
Well, doing what, Prof?
You can enroll in the School of Music as a special student.
Oh, Freddie, how wonderful.
Just think you can go on with your studies. Freddie, isn't it grand?
Well, yeah, Mrs. G, it's great.
You do think so, don't you, Freddie?
Yeah, sure I do, Gibbsy. I think it's right out of the top drawer. Thanks a lot, Prof. Thanks.
I was glad to do it, Freddie.
Well, I'm kind of sorry you did. Because I ain't taking you up on that offer if it means that I don't never touch a piano again.
What's the matter with Freddie Lang? Why does he refuse everything that's offered to him? Why is he afraid to accept obligations? Does he know that he'll someday turn against those who are now trying to help him? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. If you're tempted to ask your Kroger meat man when famous Kroger Tenderay beef will return, he'll tell you that it will be soon. That's right. We hope that in the near future, those famous fresh and tender Kroger Tenderay beefsteaks and roasts will be plentiful once more. Meantime, just remember that Kroger will always bring you the very best beef that is available on the market today. You'll want to remember, too, that your Kroger store offers you a tempting selection of fine meats, flavorful seafood, and plump poultry. What's more, they're yours at money-saving prices. So for the finest in foods, go to your neighborhood Kroger store.
The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. In 4 months, 15 food markets in your city have been held up and robbed. The bandit is well-dressed, well-armed. Your job, stop him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. Because of its quality, its extra mildness, its better flavor and aroma, Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you.
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, February 12th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 9:48 p.m. when we got to room 25A, interrogation room. Have a chair, Mr. Pollard.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, what is it that you want to tell us, sir?
Well, you have a cigarette, please?
Yeah. Here you are.
Thanks. I'm a little nervous. It's never happened to me before.
What's that?
Well, after I thought it over, I knew it wouldn't be any use to keep it up. I knew you'd find me.
Well, I think I quite follow you.
I want to confess. That's why I came here.
Yeah?
I knew I was doing wrong. I just couldn't help myself.
What have you done?
I'm not trying to defend myself. I needed money, that's all. Wasn't anything else I could do.
Well, we still don't know what you're talking about, Pollard.
Been after me 4 months. Thought maybe you recognized me from the description. Some of the people must have seen me. Those food market holdups?
You pulled those robberies by yourself?
Yeah, 15 of them. Needed the money.
Pollard, is that your true name?
That's right, yeah, Frank Pollard.
You ever been arrested before?
Drunk charge, that's all. I don't know why I went wrong. It just did.
You ever done any big time?
No.
Well, why do you want to confess?
I want to get it off my mind. I want to tell somebody. Everybody. Look, call in newspapers. I'll give them the whole story. I'll tell them everything.
How many of those markets did you hold up, Pollard?
15.
You said you needed the money, is that right? Why?
Personal reasons. Now, look, you got a light again. The smoke's out there.
Yeah. Here you are.
Yeah, thanks.
You used pretty much the same routine on all of the holdups, is that right?
Yeah, I only pull one job a week. Figured that was the safest way. Dressed pretty well, like a salesman. Always had a briefcase with me.
Is that where you carried the gun?
Yeah. Always worked, too. I'd show up at closing time, get the manager in the back room, then pull the heist.
What kind of a gun did you use?
Service pistol. I had it from when I was in the Army.
How do you usually work it?
Well, when I got the manager alone in the back office, I'd just pull the gun and I'd say, give me the money, all of it. They knew I wasn't fooling. They'd give me the dough.
You don't seem to fit the hold-up man's description too closely. Did you wear a mask on those jobs, did it?
Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't.
How about the man who worked with you? Where's he?
Wasn't anybody else, just me. Worked him alone. That's where you cops were wrong. You thought there were two of us, didn't you?
We thought so, yeah.
Pulled every job by myself. That's where I crossed you up. I knew what I was doing. I didn't need any help.
Well, how about that market out on West 7th that you held up last night? Did you pull that one alone, too?
Yeah, sure. I always work alone. Guess I had you guys going, huh?
Your story doesn't come very close. The man we're after doesn't use a service pistol. He never wears a mask, either.
What are you guys getting at? I told you I pull those robberies. I ought to know how it happened. I use a service pistol.
Did you use it in that robbery last night, the one out on West 7th?
Sure, I always use the same gun. Last night was no different.
You're wasting time, mister.
How do you mean? Look, I just want to confess.
No, sir, there wasn't any robbery last night. On further questioning, the suspect, Frank Pollard, broke down and admitted his confession was a lie. He explained that he wanted the publicity to impress a girlfriend. We had him fingerprinted and delivered him to the Georgia Street Hospital detail. It was filed on and then removed to the psychopathic ward at the county hospital for further examination and treatment. Our 4-month-old search for the market bandit went on. In the 2 weeks that followed, we tracked down more leads. They led nowhere. The real market bandit was still at large. On the night of February 25th, he hit again, this time at a supermarket out on Santa Monica Boulevard. We interviewed the manager, a Mr. Harry Talbot, in his small office at the rear of the store.
I guess I should have known better. I got the bulletin you sent out on the guy, his description, everything. I just wasn't thinking, I guess.
He came in the market just before closing time, is that right?
Yeah, a couple of minutes after 8. Looked well-dressed, had a briefcase under his arm. I fell for it like the rest of them. I thought he was a salesman.
Well, how about the man's description, sir?
About 5'11", 170 pounds, I guess. Gray suit. It's the same description you had printed up in the paper.
Mm-hmm. Was anyone else around when the man came in the door?
One of my clerks, Everett Smiley. He saw him leave and get in a car right after the robbery.
Is this clerk still around? We'd like to talk to him.
Oh, he went down the street a minute. He'll be right back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe that's him. Yeah?
Mr. Talbot, you remember me, Mrs. Bolton?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Like to ask you a favor, Mr. Talbot, as an old customer.
I'm tied up right now, ma'am. Could I see you a little later on?
I won't even come in, Mr. Talbot. You see, we're having our annual benefit whist party down at the community church. They were going to have it next Thursday, but I made them put it off another week so we could get some decent prizes.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Of course, a lot of our people are good customers of the store here, so I knew you'd be willing to give something to the prize list.
Oh, yes.
Shall I put you down for one of the door prizes? Maybe 2 or 3 market baskets full of canned corn, peas, things like that.
Yeah, okay, Mrs. Bolton. I'll have Everett fix them up tomorrow.
Of course. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Talbot. I'll have my boy Robert pick them up tomorrow. You'll have the baskets fixed up real nice, won't you?
Yes, ma'am. I'll take care of it.
Well, thank you again. Goodbye.
Goodbye, ma'am.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye. Mr. Talbot, I wonder if you could tell us what happened after you got back here in your office with the hold-up man.
Well, it happened pretty fast. He reached into the briefcase he was carrying like he was going to get his order book, and he came up with this gun. He told me to open that safe there. But I stalled. I said I didn't know how.
I see.
That's when he started telling me what he'd do to my family, my wife, if I didn't open the safe. He knew all about us, my address, my wife's name, my kids. He said he'd get them if I didn't do what I was told.
Same M.O. Never failed him. What'd you do then, Talbot?
Well, money's not worth that much to me. I opened the safe and gave him everything. A little over $400. I still don't know how he got that information about my family.
Do you have any suspicions at all?
No, nobody I can think of.
How about the gun he had? Can you describe it?
Well, just like you have it listed in that bulletin on him. 38 revolver, blue steel, long barrel.
Mr. Talbot.
Come on in, Ev. Officers, this is my clerk, Everett Smiley. I'm sorry I forgot your name.
Friday and Romero, robbery detail. Hi.
No.
Hey, Mr. Talbot says that you saw the hold-up man leaving the market. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. He walked right out of the store and down the street just like nothing happened. I didn't know anything was wrong till later.
Did you notice if the men got in a car?
Yeah, I did. The car was parked about halfway down the block. Another guy was driving. The motor was running.
Did you catch the license number?
No, but it was a brand new sedan. A Pontiac, I think. You shouldn't have much trouble finding it.
Without a license number?
Well, it's a brand new car. I remember the color. I couldn't forget that.
Yeah?
Bright red, just like a fire engine.
90% of the time, color identification of a car means nothing. For one thing, a getaway car can be painted in a matter of a few hours, and for another, the color of a vehicle is not listed on the registration slip. It's impossible to check a car through DMV on color alone. But in this case, we figured that we had half an exception to the rule. The car used in the robbery was new, was painted a very distinctive color. We began an immediate canvass of automobile dealers throughout the city. After a day and a half of calling and checking, we found 2 dealers who had sold 2 new cars within recent weeks with fire engine red paint jobs. We got the names and addresses of the purchasers and checked them out. One of them was a Miss Mona Taylor, an ad taker for one of the daily morning papers. I'm sorry to bother you at your work, Miss Taylor.
Oh, not at all. Most of it's over for today. What is it you want to know?
Well, we understand that you bought a new Pontiac sedan about 3 weeks ago. Is that correct?
Yes, I did. If this is about that parking ticket, why, I've already taken care of it.
No, ma'am, that's not it. We'd just like to know if you still own that car.
Well, I don't own it yet. I'm still paying on it.
Colors are bright red, is that right?
Yes, it is. Fire engine red. I like bright colors.
Well, does anyone else besides yourself drive the car, Miss Taylor?
Well, yes, once in a while. I lend it to my boyfriend, Al. Al Daly. I've known him for a long time. Oh, excuse me. Classified ads, Miss Taylor. Yes, sir. A 2-room apartment? Unfurnished? All right.
You got a smoke,
Steam,
Joe?
heat,
Yes, I got one.
view, Beverly Hills.
That's it, then.
$80. Okay? Yes, sir. Tomorrow morning's edition. Yes, $2.12 for 2 days. Could I have your name, address, and telephone number? Thank you, sir.
About this friend of yours, Miss Taylor, this Al Daly. How long have you been lending him your car?
Since he got his new salesman's job. He has to make night calls on customers out in the valley, so I let him have the car, usually about once a week.
When's the last time that he borrowed the car, miss?
2 nights ago.
From Mona Taylor, we got the address of her boyfriend, Al Daly. We located him in a rooming house on South Boulevard Avenue. He admitted he borrowed the Taylor girl's car the night before, but he denied that he drove it anywhere in the vicinity of the robbery. How about your friend, Jimmy Bray?
I don't know. I loaned him the car, that's all. He gave me $30.
Well, that's an awful lot of rental money. Why did he need a car so bad?
I don't know. Why don't you ask him?
Where's he stay?
Bartlett Hotel. Nathan Flower.
Mm-hmm.
You going over to see him now?
That's right. Why?
Well, I thought if you were going over there, you wouldn't mind taking this with you. He left it in the car when he brought it back. His briefcase.
Let's have a look.
What's the matter? What's all the fuss about a briefcase?
Yeah? Mm-hmm.
What is it? Let's see.
All right, you got an answer for that, Daly?
Sure, a funny place to keep a gun.
We took Al Daly downtown where he was held for questioning. We had a stakeout placed on his rooming house. We had both Daly and Bray checked through R&I. No criminal record. The briefcase and the .38 revolver were booked as evidence with the property clerk. There was no record or prints on the gun. The Taylor girl's car was impounded to be checked for fingerprints. 7 p.m., we drove out to the Bartlett Hotel on 8th and Flower. The room clerk confirmed the fact that Jimmy Bray was a registered guest at the hotel.
You want to call the office, Joe?
Yeah, all right, I'll do it.
You got change?
Yeah, I think I have. Yep. Okay.
City Hall.
2511.
2511.
Robbery, Powers.
Joe Friday, John. We're out at Bray's Hotel. We're going to stake it out. He's not in yet.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
What do you mean?
Market out on 12th Street was held up a minute ago.
Yeah?
Bandit carried a briefcase.
You are listening to Dragnet, authentic stories of your police force in action.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
Buy a pack. You'll find Fatimas now cost the same. Light a Fatima.
Ah, that's different.
What a difference.
Yes, friends, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Quality of tobaccos, the finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended to give you a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the bright, clean yellow package, carefully wrapped and sealed to bring you Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
.30 p.m. After checking Bray's room and finding nothing, Ben and I remained on stakeout at the Bartlett Hotel. The suspect failed to show up. At midnight, Young and McKenzie came out and relieved us. We drove back to the office and got the particulars on the holdup of the 12th Street Market. The M.O. was almost exactly the same as in the other 16 robberies. The victim's description of the holdup man matched perfectly with Bray's. By noon the next day, the suspect still had not returned to his hotel. An intensive canvass of the immediate neighborhood around the Bartlett Hotel netted us nothing. Nobody remembered Bray. We checked the bars and restaurants that he was known to patronize.
No one had any idea where he might be. Details at the airport, railroad stations, and bus terminals were alerted. We got out a supplementary description on our original APB. The sheriff's office was kept advised. 2 days passed. Still no sign. We questioned and re-questioned Al Daly. Either he couldn't or he wouldn't add anything to what he'd already told us about Bray. A series of stakeouts were placed at food markets in areas where Bray had staged robberies previously. A composite picture of the suspect was made up and given wide distribution throughout the city. It all went for nothing. The following Tuesday, March 4th, Bray robbed a neighborhood market in Highland Park of $150.
I had to give him the money, Sergeant. He threatened my wife and kids. Said he'd see something happen to them if I didn't open the safe.
Did you say he wore gloves, sir?
That's right. I thought it didn't jibe at first. A salesman wearing gloves like that. Didn't think about it till it was too late.
Did you notice if he was on foot or did he get away in a car?
He had a car, all right, parked down the street there. Saw it through the window. Another fellow was at the wheel.
Mm-hmm. Did you notice anything else about the car, the license number maybe?
No, I couldn't see that, but it was a coupe. I'm sure of that.
Yeah?
It was red, bright red.
There was one angle we couldn't figure. If Bray was bent on a steady career of robbery, why did he use an escape car painted the most conspicuous color possible? We checked out Mona Taylor's car again. There was no connection. The search went on. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, another month. Bray kept to his usual schedule, one robbery a week. The legwork went on, too. On March 20th, we got a call from one of Ben's informants. He told us that he'd seen a man answering Bray's description in the Venice Park amusement area down by the beach. Well, we drove down to Venice to check it out.
Pretty good crowd for a cold night.
Yeah. Where do we find this friend of yours?
See where the merry-go-round is up ahead?
Yeah?
Just beyond that. He runs one of the booths. You throw baseballs at phony milk models, 3 chances for a dime, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He and his wife run it. They've been out here for years. I don't know how they ever make a living at it. Hey, those hot dogs smell good, don't they?
Is that your friend's booth across the way there?
Yeah.
Come on, fellas. Show the girls how you can throw a baseball. Fill the milk. Come on. We'll let the girls have a free throw. Step up and win a prize.
Looks like Maud's running the place tonight. Maud, that's his wife.
Oh, yeah.
How you doing, Sergeant? Cold night, huh?
Hi, Maud. This is my partner, Joe Friday.
How are you?
Glad to know you, Joe. Guess you're looking for Scooter, huh?
Yeah, is he around?
Just down the way, Sarge. Hey, how about it? Sailor, try your luck. 1 thin dime. Spill the milk.
Pretty good crowd tonight, Maud.
Oh, yeah, but they're not spending. Hasn't been good at all lately.
Where'd you say your husband was, ma'am?
Just down the way. Old man Hudson's out to chow. Scooter runs a merry-go-round for him while he eats.
Yeah, thank you, Maud. We'll drop back and see you before we leave.
Right. Glad to meet you, Joe.
Yeah, glad I met you. Goodbye.
What do you say, girls? Have the boys show you how quick they can throw. Spill the milk. How about it?
Scooter, is that what you said? Is that the guy's name?
Yeah, that's right. He used to run the scooter drome. You know the little electric cars you drive around, bumpers all around them?
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
There he is. Scooter? Hey, Scooter!
All right, Sarge, I've been waiting for you. Hop on.
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Okay. How you doing, Sarge? Good to see you.
Scooter, my partner, Joe Friday.
How are you?
Yeah, glad to know you, Joe. I guess we can talk here as well as any place, huh?
Sure. What's the story, Scooter?
It's like I told you on the phone. Murphy down the Penny Arcade, he noticed the guy first. He pointed him out to me. He sure hits close to Bray's description.
Well, when did you first see him?
Oh, 2 nights ago, I wasn't so sure it was Bray the first time. Then I saw him last night. That cinched it.
I didn't hear that.
I said I saw him last night. That cinched it.
Oh. Well, when did this Murphy, was that his name? When did he first see him?
About a week ago. He's got an eagle eye for strangers who hang around. Murphy thinks the guy's staying out here someplace.
Is there any idea of where?
Yeah. Just a minute. No jumping around like that, son. Now you'll fall off and bang your head. Kids.
Where'd you spot this man, Scooter?
Same place Murphy did it. He's hanging around the shooting gallery down the way. The guy who runs the place is new. We don't know him well enough to ask him about it.
You mean this man who looks like Bray just hangs around the counter there?
Well, no, not exactly. You see, there's a little office to one side of the shooting gallery, and the times I seen the guy, he was either coming in or going out of there.
Mm-hmm. When's the last time you saw him, Scooter?
Huh?
I say, when's the last time you saw him?
Oh, earlier tonight, about 6:30. Yeah, I think Murphy's right. The guy's holding up in there. Hold on there, Curly. Now, don't try to get off the merry-go-round till it stops. That's the girl.
Thank you a lot, Scooter. We'll check back with you before we leave.
Yeah, okay, Sarge. I hope it helps you out. I glad I met you, Joe.
Right, see you later. There's the shooting gallery down there by the bullseye, son. Yeah, if the guy is Bray, it's funny that he hasn't been spotted before. This area is pretty well patrolled here.
Try your skill, fellas. 10 shots, only quarter.
We're police officers. Like to ask you a few questions.
Oh, what about?
What's your name?
Gridley? Max Gridley?
You know anybody by the name of James Bray?
Bray?
Uh-huh.
No, I don't. Why?
How about this, Mr. Gridley? Know anybody who fits that description?
No, it doesn't mean anything to me. What's the matter, anyway?
Well, a man answering that description has been seen entering and leaving this office right next door over here. It's part of your concession, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. But I'm the only one who uses it. Somebody must have got the wrong slant.
Then you wouldn't mind if we looked it over. Routine investigation.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, all right. I'll come around and open the door for you.
All right, come on.
It's just a cubby hole, as you can see. Kind of use it as a storage place. Sometimes I have my lunch in here. Take a nap once in a while.
Looks pretty well lived in. All those clothes are yours, Mr. Gridley?
Yeah, that's right. Why?
Hey, Mac, how about a load on this thing?
Oh, it's a customer. Excuse me a minute. Be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Joe. Yeah. Over here, have a look. This towel. Yeah. Look at the name stenciled on it. Bartlett Hotel. 9:30 p.m. We advised the shooting gallery operator not to attempt any phone calls. Then I called the office, and Ricketts and Powers came out to help us with a stakeout on the shooting gallery and the adjoining office. Ben and I covered from the Penny Arcade directly opposite the shooting gallery. Ricketts and Powers were staked out 2 doors away at a stand that advertised handwriting analyzed, 25 cents. We waited. Ben munched on a bag of popcorn. 10:30 p.m., no sign of the suspect. 11 o'clock, still no sign. Getting pretty cold. Everybody going home? Yeah. You got any more of that popcorn there? Oh, yeah, here you are. 2 pieces left. Very good. Must have been. Not much in there now. Oh, I'm sorry. I can get another bag. Machine's right over there. No, turn it off. How about some peanuts? No, thanks. Oh, sure there's some in there, Joe. Want some? No. Sure would like to see Bray show up. Hate to spend the night staked out here. Hey, wait a minute. Look. Huh? The shooting gallery. The guy in the blue suit. He's talking to the manager. He's going around the side door. Yeah, come on. He's going inside. All right, hold it right there, mister. Joe, watch it. Rickett, Johnny, cover the back. All right, Joe. I'll get the door. Right. Come on, let's hit it. Yeah. One out the back. Come on. Yep. Hold it. Johnny's got him. Yeah. Good. Johnny, you okay? Yeah. Rough. Let's roll him over, huh? Yeah, all right. How about it, Joe? Short, dark complexion, fat. What do you think? I don't know, but it's not Bray. Ricketts and Powers remained on stakeout at the shooting gallery while Ben and I took the suspect downtown along with the proprietor of the shooting gallery, Max Gridley. We had the man treated for cuts and bruises at Georgia Street Receiving Hospital, and we took him to the office. He identified himself as Blake Chatfield, an unemployed salesman. After 2 hours of questioning, he broke down and admitted that he was Bray's accomplice. In each of the 18 robberies, he drove the getaway car. He said for the past month, he and Bray had been living in the office adjoining the shooting gallery. He was booked at the New City Jail on suspicion of 211 PC. Max Gridley was held for further questioning. 1:35 a.m. We checked back in at the office. Guess I had too many hot dogs out there. Yeah, what's the matter? Oh, indigestion. Maybe it was the popcorn.
A couple of messages in the book. My wife wants you to call her before you go home. Uh-huh. Hello, Amy. Yeah, long night, yeah. What? Loaf of graham bread. Well, I'll try. Okay, dear. Yeah, bye. Same old thing. Yeah. I get it. Robbery Friday.
Johnny Powers, Joe.
Yeah, John. How's it going?
Jimmy Bray finally showed. We got him.
Any trouble?
No. Drove up in a bright red coupe. Couldn't miss him.
Mm-hmm. You coming in now?
Yeah, just leaving. See ya.
Right, John. Bye. Well, I picked up Bray. Bringing him in now. Good. Sure been a long haul. Almost 5 months. Yeah, it's a long time. Hey, Joe. Yeah? Where am I going to get a loaf of graham bread at this time in the morning?
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. For the past few weeks, I've asked you to send me the names of dealers who are out of Fatimas. You see, the demand for Fatimas is so great, I want to make sure that all of you can buy them. So keep on writing. If you find a dealer fresh out of Fatimas, let me know. We'll have something done about it. Write your dealer's name and address on a card and mail it to me, Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. That's Jack Webb, Post Office Box 951, Hollywood 28. Now, a word for you, Mr. Dealer. The coming holiday season will find new thousands insisting on Fatima quality. So step up your orders for Fatima tomorrow. Get in on the increasing demand for the quality long cigarette.
James R. Bray and Blake A. Chatfield were tried and convicted on several counts of armed robbery and received sentences as prescribed by law. Max Gridley was filed on for failure to register as an ex-convict. Bray and Chatfield are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield, always wins first place. That Miler mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Coming up, We the People, then Screen Directors Playhouse on NBC.
A service of KIBMRadio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
From San Francisco, the American Broadcasting Company presents 1 out of 7. 24 hours make a day. 7 days make 1 week. And from these past 7 days, the editors here in our San Francisco newsroom have chosen the one story which they have judged most worthy of retelling. This is 1 out of 7. Stand high above the wind, above, apart, alone, and look down on them. Look down on them. Look
and have only compassion in your hearts. Pitiful creatures, so confused, bewildered, and so confused. Oh, it is no use. No use. It is no use. They want to kill themselves. They want to kill everything. The fools, so blind, kill everything, break everything into little pieces. The fools destroy, kill. Stand high above the wind, above the proud speck of earth, and behold the ravaged thing, swinging perilously there in space and darkness, straining at its moorings, quaking on its orbit, and turn an inquiring ear to the angry little voices that arise therefrom, and soon lose themselves to the enveloping immensities of time and space. Listen. 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 People of this great and glorious nation, let me tell you there is only one way to ensure the peace of the world so dearly bought, and that is by standing firm with other nations, by displaying our armed might at every turn, and if necessary, by getting tough. Getting tough. Let me tell you, people of this great and glorious nation, the Third World War is already well on its way to fulfillment. Already the world is turning into an armed camp, seething mistrust, suspicion, fear. Third World War soon to be realized? Is it not now evident that we must prepare for its coming and take steps to defend ourselves? Is it not now evident that there is a nation to the westward with whom it is impossible to live in peace and security? The danger is there. It is threatening. And I say that if we must fight another war, then let's have it now and be done with it. If our freedom must be bought again with the sacrifice of more sons, then let us be brave enough and strong enough to buy that freedom. The danger is there, and we must fight it. We must fight it. We must fight it. We must fight it. Fears, suspicions, mistrust, eating at their tiny mortal brains, hating, not knowing why they hate, not understanding, not caring to understand, speaking of their doom as though it were another crusade, unmindful of the great cloak of darkness, pressing closer. Strange, pitiful creatures. Listen to them. Listen. And mark the signs of impending doom. Listen. last-minute Washington dispatches reveal that a score of congressmen will soon submit a bill which provides that American military and naval bases throughout the world, together with our total armed might, be further strengthened to provide against attack by possible enemy nations in the West. The United Nations organization, the supposed hope of the world, is reeling toward its grave already. Regrettable indeed, but that certainly appears to be the situation tonight after the serious cleavage between the big three powers on current issues of major importance. In fact, only this afternoon, a prominent military source in Washington told me that the Third World War is not only inevitable, but fast approaching. These past weeks, America, her people, and her neighbors reacted with dead pessimism to the ever-growing possibility of a Third World War. In a recognized national poll of public opinion, a cross-section of the populace was asked, "Do you think there will be another world war in the next 20 years?" And the people, lately delivered from the death grip of a second world holocaust, answered in a majority of more than 65%. Yes, there will be another world war in the next 20 years. A footnote to the parents, the mothers and fathers of Earth. Go now and look down into the face of your sleeping child. Conjure up the child's future. Yes, if all these signs and grim portents achieve disastrous reality. Contemplate the inevitable horror, and then act according to the dictates of your will. Stand high above the wind and look down with pity in your hearts, and listen to the angry mutterings of the childlike creatures as they quarrel over they know not what. Communist fifth columns are established and are now working in complete unity and absolute obedience to Moscow. Nobody knows what Soviet Russia intends to do in the immediate future, or what are the limits, if any, to their expansive tendencies. Thus, neither the sure prevention of war nor the continuous rise of world organization will be gained without the fraternal association of the English-speaking people. This means that a special relationship should be established between the British Commonwealth and Empire and the United States. A few days later, after endless hysterical commentary and reaction, there comes the answer to these words. The Soviet Union will follow its chosen path without deviation. Until now, those who tried to show strength to the Russian people, without exception, lost in the undertaking. Why then does Mr. Winston Churchill call the two great Anglo-Saxon nations to this fatal road? Russia is not seeking world supremacy, but our nation is determined to secure its own frontiers. To do this, we will not yield to any threats, to any subterfuges, nor to any art of the most modern, familiar, or unfamiliar weapons. And while the storm rages, and suspicions, mistrust, and misunderstandings grow, and accepted channels of information clog the nation's mind with frightened, uncertain reports, from a quiet house in the city of Washington, the quiet voice of aging statesman Cordell Hull is heard throughout the towns and cities of the nation. We who are living now must not allow the human race to commit suicide through the lack of vision, or through selfishness, impatience, or provocation. I offer this 5-point program to help us overcome the dark threatening the world. First, that we examine with sympathy and patience the views of others. Secondly, that we ascertain the true facts. Thirdly, that we avoid taking stubborn positions one way or the other. Fourthly, that we refrain from exaggerating and overemphasizing one's own claim. And lastly, that we refrain from making an appeal to prejudice. Stand high above the wind and look down on them. Pitiful creatures, so confused, so frightened by the gathering darkness, so sure that there will be a tomorrow, so sure, even while their speck of earth totters at the edge of utter destruction. Look down on them and have pity.
The script for 1 Out of 7 is written by James Edward Moser. Gil Dowd is the producer, and music is by Otto Clare at the Hammond organ. Tonight's program was based on dispatches taken from the wires of Associated Press, United Press, and International News Service. All characters were portrayed by Jack Webb. Listen next week, same time, same station for
1 Out of 7.
Mark Jordan speaking. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Juvenile Bureau. A pair of fake talent scouts are at work in your city. Their victims, young girls seeking careers in Hollywood. The criminals are vicious and relentless. Your job, get them.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, But your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Tuesday, May 7th. It was mild in Los Angeles. We were working the day watch out of Juvenile Bureau. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Inspector Bowling, Commander, Juvenile Division. My name's Friday. It was 10:13 a.m. when I got to 1335 Georgia Street, second floor. The squad room.
Hi.
Hi, Ben.
Did you pick up that latest run the stats office made for?
No, I don't think they got it ready yet.
Notice there in the book it's been ready since yesterday. You were over there. You could have picked it up.
Well, yeah. What's the matter with you this morning? Don't you feel good?
No, just this stinking cold seems to be settling in my chest. Miserable. Yes, sir? Can I help you?
Oh, yes. I'd like some information, please. This is the Juvenile Bureau, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, sir. What can we do for you?
Oh, mind if I sit down? I'm climbing those stairs. Takes your breath away.
Yeah, sure. Here you are.
Thank you. My name's Wayne Kenworthy, officers. I'm out here on a convention. My home is in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Went out last night with some of the boys at the convention. We stopped at a bar down on your Alvarado Street.
Alvarado.
Anyway, we were drinking there, and the bartender got to talking to us. Finally offered us some pictures for sale. I got one of them right here. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There you are. I paid him $2 for it. Just look at that.
Yeah, it's filth.
Do you have the address of the bar where you bought this?
Yes, sir, I have. That's not the reason I'm here, though. I'm not a one-man moral squad. I'm not the type makes a habit of buying obscene photographs of young girls, either.
Yes, sir, we understand.
And I bought this picture from that bartender because I know the young girl in it. She's the daughter of one of my neighbors back home in Minnesota. Known her ever since she was a baby.
I see.
This girl came out here about 8 months ago to live with a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
She was crazy for Hollywood. Thought she might break into the movies or something. She stopped writing her folks about 2 months ago. Hasn't been heard from since.
Well, it sounds like a case for a missing persons bureau, Mr. Kenley.
Well, the girl's folks have already contacted them. Nothing's been turned up. Nothing at all. Then last night, just by an accident, the bartender shows me this photograph. It's that girl, all right. No mistake.
Well, we'll do everything we can to help straighten it out, sir.
Well, that young girl I know. I've known her since she was a baby. Good family, good training. She never would have posed for a photograph like this. Rotten filth. She's just not the type, that's all.
Yes, sir, we understand.
What was this young girl's name, Mr. Kenworthy?
Lois Brewster, that's her real name. When she wrote her folks, she was using another name while she was out here. Thought it might help her movie chances. Drake, I think that's what it was.
Linda Drake?
Yeah, that's right.
About 5'4", 115 pounds, dark hair, dark eyes.
That's right. Yeah. You know where she is?
Oh, yeah, we do. We had her case called to our attention.
Where is she? Is she all right?
No, sir. She's dead. Two days before Mr. Kenworthy walked into Juvenile Bureau, the body of a young girl had been washed up on the shore just below the beach town of Venice. Apparently, she'd taken her own life. The girl was a brunette, attractive, not more than 17 years old. There was no identification on the body except for a rent receipt found in one of the pockets of a cotton jacket that the girl had been wearing. The rent receipt was made out to Linda Drake. It was signed R.L. King, 876 Peoria Avenue. The address was checked out, and R.L. King was found to be the girl's landlady. After identifying the body, she told investigating officers that Lois Brewster, alias Linda Drake, had lived at her rooming house with a girlfriend for about 6 months. The girlfriend's name was Joyce Fowler. The landlady went on to explain that the two girls had moved out about a week before without leaving a forwarding address. The Fowler girl had said that she would call back for any mail that might be delivered to the Peoria Avenue address.
There had been no other leads to the dead girl's background or identity until her former neighbor from Minnesota, Mr. Wayne Kenworthy, showed up. Later that day, Ben and I met with Inspector Bowling and briefed him.
Dirty, rotten business.
I'll buy that.
How far have you gotten with it?
Check the dead girl's fence with the missing persons bulletin, Miss Lois Brewski. We notified the girl's parents in Minnesota. They're coming out to claim the body. It's pretty tragic. She's an only daughter.
17 years old.
Same old story we figure, Skipper. Some phony talent scout grabbed her and showed her the bright lights, got her to pose for those pictures one way or another. They can make a teenage girl go one of 100 directions after that.
This one ended up on the beach. That's all I care about now. How about the girlfriend Lois Brewster was living with? Joyce Fowler?
No word so far.
Well, what about it? Any ideas?
Well, it pretty much depends on finding this Joyce Fowler. There's no background on her. We got out on all points.
How about phony talent scouts, cheap modeling schools, photographers? Check out that angle.
We put 4 of them away in the past 6 months. Another half dozen are being watched. We can start double-checking them tomorrow.
Now, how about that picture that old fella Kenworthy brought in? Interviewed there?
We gathered a dozen samples just like it. One's as bad as the other. They're all printed on the same quality photographic paper. There's no markings of any kind on them. It's a common type of paper.
All right, then get on the distribution angle. Stay on it. Every rotten bum that peddles this trash, you get them. I want them right up the line. Distributors, wholesalers, guy that prints the pictures, guy that takes them, every lousy one of them.
I still can't figure.
What's that?
Well, the Brewster girl is a good home there, good training. She knew right from wrong. Kids don't forget that in a hurry.
That might have been her trouble.
How do you mean?
She remembered it.
Wednesday, May 8th. 6 teams of men from Juvenile Division, working in conjunction with the Detective Bureau, started the drive against the obscene literature and photography traffic. Within 2 weeks, more than a dozen wholesalers, distributors, and small-time peddlers had been apprehended and were awaiting prosecution. For we still had failed to uncover any new leads in the Lois Brewster case. The roommate, Joyce Fowler, the all-important witness in the case, was still missing. No trace of her. The dead girl's parents arrived in the city, claimed the body, and took it back to Minnesota for burial. The drive continued. Another week passed. On May 29th, on a tip from a usually reliable informant, Ben and I checked out a small photographic studio on Sunset Boulevard, operated by an Emil Joseph Martin. He was sullen and uncooperative. We checked through his files.
Just what I told you. A few special shots I keep filed away just for laughs.
Mm-hmm.
Once in a while, a friend drops in. I print one of them up for him. Yeah. Hold that one up to the light. Some of them are nice-looking dolls, huh? I print one up for my friends once in a while.
What kind of friends do you have?
What?
How about this negative here, Martin? Do you mind printing this one up for us now?
Sure, officer. My compliments. How many copies you want?
One's enough.
If you say so. Let's see. Yeah, one of the best. I'll print it up right now. This way. This one's a real collector's item, you know.
Yeah, right.
A friend of mine got me the negative. $100 it cost me. Worth it, though. I'll make up a couple of pence for you, huh?
One's good.
Okay, anything you say. You want to get that light switch?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, beautiful negative. Yeah, you picked a good one, all right. Yeah. Get the paper in here. Yeah, that did it. Okay, one print. That's all you want?
That's all.
Okay, let's put it in the soup. Yeah, I bet you get a kick out of this one. Real beautiful girl.
How'd you happen to get a hold of this negative? Did you take the picture?
No, a friend of mine got it for me. It cost me a C-note. There we go. Put it in the stubber. There we go. Uh-huh. All
about the guy you got this negative from? Did he take the picture?
No, he bought it from somebody else. Don't know who. Cost him $350. Worth it, though, huh? Hi. Isn't that Bureau?
We've seen him before.
Well, that's so. You know her?
Only from her pictures.
Oh. Of course, you understand I didn't take the picture. I just bought a negative, that's all. You couldn't tag me for that, could you?
We're going to try, mister. Get your coat.
Oh, no. Wait a minute now, officers. I'm small fry in this operation. You know that. You want the big fish, right?
We want all of you.
You know who they are?
Well, some, maybe. Must be worth something to you.
Well, you know better than that, Martin. If you cooperate, we'll mention it in our report. That's all we can do. No promises.
Not a very good offer.
You're not in a very good position.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, I'll tell you.
Emil J. Martin was booked at City Jail for violation of 311 PC. His file of lewd photographs and negatives were impounded and booked as evidence. With the help of information which the suspect had given us, we were able to round up 3 wholesalers and another distributor of obscene books and photographs. Each one of them was questioned thoroughly. We ran into the same old routine. They denied knowing anything about the man who was masterminding the racket or where he was operating from. The Lois Brewster case dragged on. No progress. In virtually every case of tracing the lewd pictures to the point of production, the investigating officers were able to link the small-time peddlers to their distributor and the distributor to the wholesaler. Well, that's where it stopped, a dead end. Beyond that, nobody knew anything about the operation of the racket. Stakeouts were set up at locations where sales and deliveries of obscene material were known to have been made. Nothing happened. The drive stalled. Thursday, June 11th.
Well, now, Joe?
Yes, Gibber?
First piece of news in the morning. The policewoman just called it in.
Yeah?
Lois Brewster's girlfriend, Joyce Fowler.
Yeah?
She's been found.
You are listening to Dragnet for the solution to an actual case from official police files. Now, here's a real solution to many of your Christmas shopping problems.
If your friends smoke long cigarettes, give the best of long cigarettes. Give king-size Fatima.
You see, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild, and superbly blended to give smokers a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes, rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the distinctive royal blue Fatima gift carton, Christmas wrapped and carefully sealed to ensure Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
So this Christmas, give your friends the best. Give Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all, long cigarettes.
Like most organized crime, the traffic in obscene literature and photographs is a racket jealously guarded because of its heavy profit. It's nationwide, and every year it nets millions of dollars for underworld promoters and their employees. As an organized business, it's one of the most vicious and insidious rackets that exists today, despite the fact that many citizens regard it lightly. Thursday, June 11th, 10 a.m., Ben and I met with policewoman Paula Johnson. She told us that the previous evening, Joyce Fowler, the girl Lois Brewster had been living with, had gotten into a brawl with an unidentified man at a bar on Sunset Boulevard. Police officers arriving at the scene identified her as the missing girl and handed her over to juvenile authorities. At 10:30 a.m., Joyce Fowler was brought to the interrogation room. She was a tall brunette, fairly attractive. She looked older than her age. Together with policewoman Paula Johnson, Ben and I questioned her.
I was out on a date with this man. We were sitting at the bar, and he started saying things I didn't like. What a row, that's all.
The man seemed quite a bit older than you, Joyce. Was he a good friend of yours?
Friend. He was about 50, I guess. I thought he was all right. He wasn't.
How old are you, Joyce?
21.
We've checked your background, Joyce. You might as well tell the truth.
All right, I'm 17. I'll be 18 next week. Look, can't I go get an aspirin? I've got a terrible headache.
I got some in my locker. Be right back. Okay.
I still don't know why I'm here. What do you want to know?
Well, you were a good friend of Lois Brewster's. You lived with her, is that right?
Is that why I'm here?
It's one of the reasons. Lois spent 8 months out here before her death. As far as these officers know, you lived with her during those 8 months. We want to find out what happened to her. We want to find out what's happening to you.
Nothing's happening to me. I can take care of myself.
That's what Lois Brewster thought, Joyce. How about her? You tell us?
She didn't know what she was doing. I don't know what happened to her. I'm to blame for bringing her out here, but it's not my fault what happened to her. It's not my fault.
Well, whose fault is it?
All of them. The whole rotten, dirty bunch of them.
Here's your aspirin.
You sure haven't been out?
Thanks.
I'll get some water.
Something wrong, Joyce? Don't you feel well?
I'll be all right.
Right, here you are.
Thanks. I don't remember too well how it started. Lois came out to Hollywood to live with me for 6 months, you know.
Yeah, we know.
We tried to get modeling jobs, bit parts in the movies. We didn't have much luck. We had to eat, pay the rent. So we took jobs as waitresses at a drive-in place out on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Are you still working there?
No, we were only there 2 weeks, and we got this other job. That's when it started.
And what was that?
One day, these 2 men drove in with a brand new Cadillac, ordered a couple of Cokes. I could tell they were watching us, Lois and me. When they were leaving, they gave me a card. They said they were talent scouts. They asked us to come to their offices for interviews.
You still have the card they gave you?
No, I looked for it once. Guess I lost it.
Mm-hmm. Would you go on, please?
The older fellow's name was Fred Ramus. Other one was Mr. Gilbert. They were both very nice. We didn't think anything was wrong.
Didn't you go for the interview?
Yes, Lois and I both went. They talked to us a lot, had us read out of a script and walk up and down. They said both of us showed a lot of promise. They said they wanted to be our agents, so we signed a paper. Fred Ramus told us he'd see we got a break.
Mm-hmm. Did either of them ever arrange any legitimate interviews for you? I mean, with the movie studios, radio, television, anything like that?
No. They took us out quite a bit, restaurants, nightclubs. Told us we had to be seen around town first. Had to show us off to the producers, all the important movie people. Both of them were very nice.
And did you keep on working at the drive-in?
No, they had me and Lois quit the job. They said it wouldn't look right. We still had to eat. We still had to pay our rent. That's when they brought up the idea of the pictures.
What pictures do you mean, Joyce?
I'm sorry. Could I have some more water, please?
Oh, yeah?
Fred Ramus and Mr. Gilbert took us out to a big nightclub one night. Fred told us that if Lois and I had some good pictures taken of ourselves, he could show them around and get us jobs as models. That is, till we got a break in the movies.
Here you are.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Up to that time, how long had you known these 2 men?
About a month and a half. I didn't see anything wrong in it, so Lois and I went to this photographer's studio with Mr. Ramus, and we had our portraits taken. Regular pictures.
Oh, excuse me, Joyce. Did both of these men know how old your girls were?
We told them the truth. We were both 17.
Mm-hmm. And what happened after that?
Mr. Ramus came back and said he'd found an advertising agency that wanted to buy pictures of Lois and me. He said we'd get $20 apiece every time we posed.
For portraits?
No, for posing in bathing suits, pajamas, things like that. They were supposed to be for magazine ads. In about a week, he brought us to his office and said the agency wanted us to pose without clothes, without anything. He said he'd pay us $40 for that.
Oh, go on, George.
They showed us lots of pictures of models like that. They talked about it all the time. We kept saying no, both of us, Lois and I.
Did you ever agree to pose for the kind of pictures they wanted?
You can't agree to something you don't know about. I don't know how it happened, but it did. Mr. Gilbert and Fred Ramus, they kept taking us out. We used to drink quite a bit with them. Went on for weeks, I guess. One night there was a big party. We drank. Lois and I got separated. I still don't know what happened.
I see.
Next morning we both woke up with headaches. Fred Ramus came and showed us the pictures. I felt dirty all over. I don't know how it happened, I swear it. Lois began to cry. I hit Mr. Ramus. I slapped him.
And what does Mr. Ramus tell you?
He pretended to be very nice about it. Said he'd pay us well if we go on posing for pictures, the kind he wanted. If we didn't, he said he'd wreck any chance we might have in Hollywood. Said he'd see that the pictures got out. Threatened to send copies to our families, our friends back home.
Didn't you think of going to the police?
We talked about it. We were afraid of the publicity, the newspapers. We just kept going on, doing what he said. It's like a nightmare. Kept getting worse. We kept getting in deeper.
Sergeant, you have that envelope?
Yeah. Yeah.
You recognize these pictures, Joyce?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos and Mr. Gilbert, they have you posed for these?
Yes, that's some of them. We always drank a lot, so we wouldn't remember. That's not why Lois is dead, though. Those pictures aren't the reason.
Well, how do you mean, Joyce?
Ramos and Gilbert, they'd fix up dates for us. They said the men were their friends. 3 or 4 times a week they'd call. We had to go out with them. We had to do what they said. One morning we got home about 5:30 in the morning. Lois changed, said she was going for a walk. I went to bed. She left a note. I never saw her again.
I see. Mel? Oh, yeah, just a minute. It's that long-distance call we placed to your home, Joyce. Sure.
Oh, thanks. Hello? Yeah, it's me, Joyce. Yeah, it was just a mistake. Yeah. How's Uncle Henry? Swell. No, it's all right. Don't you worry. Yeah, all right. I'll write you tomorrow. Yeah, bye. Thanks for placing the call, Sergeant.
You're welcome. Glad to do it.
Anything else you want to know?
Yeah, there's just one more thing. Do you still have that note that Lois Brewster wrote before she died?
No, I lost it. I remember what it said, though.
Yeah.
It said, I'm sorry. It was signed Lois. That's all.
Joyce Fowler supplied us with the addresses of Fred Ramos and his partner, Gilbert. She gave us all the names and addresses of all their friends and employees that she knew of. She also pointed out their offices and base of operations. Inspector Bowling ordered an immediate investigation into the background and business activities of both men. Previously convicted wholesalers and distributors of obscene photographs were called back in and re-questioned. We finally completed the missing link in the supply line from the peddler to the producer. 5 former workers for Ramos and Gilbert fingered them as head men controlling the racket. Their offices and studios were raided and their files seized as evidence. On June 18th, Fred Ramos and his partner, Harold Gilbert, were placed under arrest.
What's the pitch, Sergeant? What's this all about?
I think you know, Mr. Ramos.
You can't tag me on those pictures.
You want to get your hat?
It's artwork, legitimate artwork. My lawyer can prove that.
He better be good.
You bet he is. You know, I'm kind of surprised at you cops taking the word of somebody like that Fowler girl. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She's a psycho.
Is that right?
Why, sure. I tried to do something with her and that girlfriend of hers. I even signed up as her agent. They were hopeless.
You've got quite a stack of negatives here. Pictures of both of them, 17-year-olds.
They're just candid shots, you know. Spicy for my private collection. There's nothing wrong in that. I figured I'd give the girls a break, let them earn a few bucks.
Yeah?
Look, I couldn't have treated those girls better. I took them around, showed them the town. Both psychos. I never did trust them.
Well, that's the big difference, Ramos.
Huh?
They trusted you. Fred Ramos and Harold Gilbert were brought downtown to Inspector Bowling's office. Joyce Fowler was seated next to the desk. Gilbert was brought in. She identified him. He was taken out and held for booking.
All right, bring in the next one.
All right, come on.
Yeah? Can you identify this man, Miss Fowler?
Yes. He's Fred Ramos.
What's the trouble, Joyce? Weren't you satisfied with what I was paying you? Could have settled this between ourselves. If you had any beef, you could have come to me.
You're lucky, Fred. I'd kill you now if I could.
Joyce, come on now. Sit down.
All right, Sloan, take him out.
Joyce, sit down. Come on, sit down.
Be back in a minute, Joe.
All right.
I'm sorry. Doesn't do any good. Are there any more?
No, that's about all. You've helped quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad I could do it. Is that all, Sergeant?
Well, for now, yeah. You'll have to testify at the trial. After that, the juvenile court's going to keep in pretty close touch with you.
I see.
Aren't you going back home, Joyce, to Minnesota?
No, it'd be the same old thing. My aunt'd be glad to see me for the first week. Then she'd start all over again, hollering at me, picking. Wouldn't be any use.
What are you going to do out here, Joy? You know?
I know a nice fella in Santa Monica. He's going to get me a job at a brand new drive-in. Cute uniforms.
But I don't think juvenile court's going to let you take a job like that, Joyce.
I hope so. A lot of talent scouts go there. Radio, movie producers. They might notice me.
Yeah?
Never can tell. Might lead to something.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 4th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 91, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here's our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. To get year-round thanks for the gift that you give this Christmas, why not give Fatimas to every long cigarette smoker on your list? Their first pack of extra mild Fatimas will have them convinced, like I am, that in Fatima, the difference is quality. And Christmas Fatimas come in a distinctive royal blue slip-over jacket that makes a perfect gift just as is. Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima, the difference is quality. Give Fatimas, the quality king-size cigarette, to every long cigarette smoker.
Fred Ramus and Harold Gilbert were tried and convicted on several counts of rape and lewd conduct. They received sentences as prescribed by law and are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield, always wins first place. That milder, mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you'll smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
Coming up, We the People, with stories of today on NBC.
A service of KIBMRadio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
My name's Regan. I work for Anthony J. Lyon, International Detective Bureau. They call me the Lion's Eye.
Wednesday at 9, and CBS brings you Jeff Regan, Investigator, starring Frank Graham as Regan with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. So stand by for mystery and suspense and adventure in tonight's story of The Lady from Brazil.
Her name was Irene Santino. The lady from Brazil, the Lion called her. He figured it for an easy trace job. Something for missing persons, only when we do them, the Lion gets paid. Yeah. The program said it was simple. Except before we wound it up, there were a couple of added attractions. A doctor who didn't do any doctoring, a nurse with a built-in temperature, and a couple of blackouts that were meant to be permanent. And guess what? In that last part, I was supposed to be the star. Anyhow, it all began late last Monday. I was home. My boss, Anthony J. Lyon, knocked on my door. And that's when I made my first mistake. I let him in.
Regan, I'm glad I found you in. I'm just on my way home from the office.
You could have kept on going. I'm out of Johnny Walker.
Oh, now, Regan, I didn't come by just for that.
You got anything else?
No.
All right. As a matter of fact, I want your advice, Regan.
Cut out starches and get some exercise. What else?
What would you do if you traveled 10,000 miles just to see your sister and then couldn't find her?
I'd give up the search.
You would? Why?
I haven't got a sister.
Oh, that's not what I'm talking about. You'd go to missing persons, wouldn't you? Sure you would. But if you knew your family in a foreign country would become greatly alarmed at this sort of notoriety, you'd look for your sister in another way. You'd hire a good private detective. Now, isn't that right?
Come on, Fatso, put it on the road.
What do you mean? I'm just posing a simple problem.
And you've got an angle somewhere.
All right, we have a new client. Her name's Irene Santino. She's from Brazil, Rio. Fine family, Regan. Coffee. She's engaged international to locate her younger sister, Carmen.
I'm no St. Bernard.
You'll do till I can feed one. Oh, now, I know you've been working hard lately, but, Regan, this is one of those occasions when I'm proud to be a part of our profession. We have an opportunity to help a young lady in desperate straits and at the same time secure goodwill from South America.
Ever hear of the State Department?
Of course I have, but they can't do it all alone. It's up to individual citizens to take responsibility, too.
And that's the only reason you want me to find a sister?
Absolutely. Now, Miss Santino is taking an apartment at this address. Here, go see her, comfort her, let her know International and the United States of America will do everything possible to locate her lost sister.
Yeah. That all?
That's enough.
What'd she pay you?
$200.
That's a lot of green to get in advance.
Well, she insisted. She's very anxious to find that girl.
Watch out her check doesn't bounce.
It won't. She paid cash.
That $200 was already making a lump in the lion's coat. And I knew the next spot for it was his mattress. Well, maybe that's the reason he's a bachelor. I left him in my place and drove over to the address he'd given me. It was one of those Beverly Hills apartments with a long, glassy look. Like a greyhound with a sore stomach. Irene Santino's apartment was on the second floor. She was a tall, brown-haired girl without a smile. She wore glasses. And when she talked, she sounded sad. Like a banjo player with a paper pick.
Thank you so much for coming over, Mr. Regan. I've been very upset all day. I just had to do something about Carmen.
Your sister?
Yes. She's the one I came to California to see.
I heard.
It's an awful vacant feeling. I thought she'd meet me at the airport, and then she wasn't there. And when I went to her address, we were very close.
She's from Rio, too?
Yes.
How's her English?
Well, the same as mine. We were both educated in the United States.
You older than Carmen?
Yes, 2 years. She's 25 now. Carmen left home a year ago. She's always been very independent. And, I received this letter from her a few days ago. It was the first word since she left home.
It came this way?
Yes.
No envelope?
Oh, I threw that away. She wrote her address there at the end, and I didn't see any need for keeping the envelope.
And she wasn't at this address?
There isn't any such address.
What does Carmen look like?
Well, I gave her a snapshot to Mr. Lyon. Didn't he give it to you?
He forgets things.
Well, no matter. I have another. Of course, it's old and not very good. I think it's right here in the suitcase. You'll pardon things strewn all over. I haven't had time. Oh, here. Here. Here you are.
See. She's blonde?
A little lighter than mine. The same height, too. We used to wear each other's clothes. Oh, Mr. Regan, you will be able to find her, won't you?
I don't think you want me to.
Mr. Regan, are you trying to be funny?
You hand me a snapshot so old it could be anybody, and a letter that says nothing, and you want me to turn up a blonde.
But I thought those would be leads. She mentions the name of her doctor.
Is he the man?
Man?
She left home a year ago. She wasn't following the crops. There was a man in it. I've got to have it all, lady.
All right, all right. There was a man. His name was Frank Martin. I met him once in Mexico City. She thought she was in love with him. He lives out on Laurel Avenue.
You talked to him?
No. But I asked questions around. I'm completely satisfied he knows nothing about it. Perhaps if you'd see the doctor, my sister mentioned...
You want me to find your sister?
Yes?
But you don't want me to see this Frank Martin.
I didn't say that.
You didn't have to, lady. Okay. You'll get a report when I've got something. Oh, just one more thing.
What's that?
How long did you stop off on the way to shop in New York?
Why? What makes you think I'd do that?
When you leave your clothes strewn around the label show. There's no Saks Fifth Avenue in Rio. When I walked out, her mouth was wide open like she was trying to scream. Only nothing came out. I hung around outside the door for a minute to see if she'd use the phone, but nothing happened. I looked up Frank Martin in the city directory and drove over to Laurel. A 2-story apartment building the color of a bride's blush. It was wrapped around a swimming pool. Too small for people and too big for birds. Martin's name wasn't on the mailbox, so I looked up the manager.
You don't know me, do you, Pilgrim?
Well, I just got here.
I played the Pels in 26. Oh, them were the days.
Write it up and sell it to the movies.
Them slobs. Central Casting ain't called me in 4 years.
Got a card?
Afros, SAG, and the Musicians Union. I play French horn. None of them call me. I figure it's television. No union yet.
I'm looking for a man named Frank Martin.
Now, look, if you got trouble, stay away from Frank. He bruises easy.
And you're just a mother, too.
He's a nice laddie. Now, remember what I tell you.
Sure, sure.
All right. Come on. I'll show you.
Thanks.
That's him. Up there.
He stays in one key.
All the time. A low one.
You said that once.
Well, here we are. You know, I kind of like you. You get around. Ever run into Mervyn Leroy?
Not yet.
If you do, mention my name, will you?
Sure. What is it?
Just say that Trixie Finnegan was asking for him. He'll remember old Trixie.
How could he forget?
You're not a whooping, you know.
Come on in. It's unlocked.
Your name Frank Martin?
Yeah, who wants to know?
My name's Regan. I'm a private investigator with the International Detective Bureau.
Wrong steer, Gumshoe. I don't need one.
I'm not looking for work. I'm looking for you.
What'd you say it was? Regan?
Yeah.
R-E-G-A-N? Regan. Regan. Just wrote that one. Pretty cute, eh?
I'm looking for a friend of yours, Carmen Santino.
Oh. How is Carmen these days?
I don't know.
But you said you were a detective.
I did.
You sound like an amateur to me.
You sound like a guy with a chip on his shoulder.
You sound like a lot of things. You're trying to get tough, baby.
It figures out when your name isn't on the mailbox.
Yeah?
Nobody would ever write you.
I'll just skip that, Regan. Well, who hired you to do what?
My sister's in town. She's looking for Carmen.
You know Carmen had a sister. What else?
You're the boyfriend.
Boyfriend. It's real good. Let me tell you what she's like, Regan. Eyes just right. Hair just right. Everything just right. Wait till you see her in a bathing suit. That's something, brother.
She isn't wearing one in this picture.
Let's see. No, it's a bad picture, Regan. Hardly looks like her, like she is. Ever met him like that? Well, we're going to be married, Regan. Only she decided all of a sudden she didn't want him. Just like that. It was her idea. Haven't seen her since.
You try?
Once. She moved, no forwarding address. That's all.
Makes a good story.
Yeah, but you don't believe it. Let me tell you the reason we broke up. It's a dilly.
My hearing's good.
Well, you've heard about the happy couple. The guy keeps getting loaded, can't lay off. Well, this is different. This is the big switch.
Carmen.
Yeah, Carmen.
And why she was seeing a doctor?
Carmen, seeing a doctor? Look, why don't you get out of here? We don't like each other.
Sister thinks something might have happened to Carmen. She's scared.
Yeah, some of us are scared part of the time. When somebody makes a lot of noise looking for somebody, then everybody gets scared. You scared, Regan?
Yeah.
What about?
Carmen Santino. I might be looking too late. Well, what he gave me filled in the cast, but the plot wasn't getting any clearer. So I looked up the doctor Carmen had mentioned in her letter. His name was Kingston, and the only address was a place out in Encino. It was a ranch house spilled all over the top of the hill like whipped cream. Figured he was getting oversealing for his pills. I parked my car by the gate, followed the flagstones up to the front door. When I pressed a button, I heard something that sounded like chamber music. And then a blonde girl wearing a red dress that must have been riveted on opened the door about the middle of the second chorus.
I like blue serge. Has an effect on me.
It's the only thing in the closet.
You fill it out nice. But you don't look sick.
I want to see the doctor anyway.
Come on in. We'll talk about it. You are tall, Mr.
Regan.
Regan.
Who are you, Florence Nightingale?
I hold the doctor's stethoscope. My name's Vivian Lytell.
Mind telling him I'm here?
He's busy. He just opened another bottle.
Well, I'm right on time.
Oh, Rex isn't sociable like me. He drinks alone. He gets more that way. Let me entertain you.
Easy, Angel. I don't know how to fix a fracture.
I've already got a man who can do that. I want one with brains.
What's the matter with the doctor?
Keeps his in a bottle. Hasn't used them for a long time now.
He's done all right.
This? He'd be selling papers if his wife hadn't left him a good insurance policy.
Don't you like his money?
Oh, don't get me wrong. It's just that the girl has feelings, too.
Yeah, they show.
I'm glad I met you. We're going to have some nice afternoons.
I thought you worked for a living.
Got lots of free time. Besides, I should have at least one outside interest.
Keep looking. You'll find one.
You smile good, but you talk nasty.
I only came to see Kingston.
Well, there's always the phone. Call and make an appointment. Now, get out.
Oh, Vivian, about... Oh, I didn't know you had company. I'll talk to you another time.
Just a minute, Doctor. This is Mr. Regan.
Huh?
He's your company, but he doesn't have a business card.
Oh. Well, look, Mr. Regan, I'm no longer in practice, just doing research on my own. I have all the medical equipment I can use. I turned all my patients over to another doctor.
I know one you forgot.
Well, tell me who.
Carmen Santino.
Carmen...
Go ahead, Vivian. I'll speak to Mr. Regan.
Watch yourself, Rex. He doesn't know how to be nice.
Will it take a minute?
Or crack some ice. You'll need a drink.
She's a very fine nurse.
Yeah. It's a nice uniform.
Well, working on my own, very casual. You said I had a patient named Carmen... What was it?
Carmen Santino.
I'm afraid you're mistaken, Mr. Regan. Who told you that?
Well, I read about you in a letter.
That must have been another Kingston.
There's only one with a license.
You're a relative of the girl's?
Friend.
You're a detective, aren't you?
Yeah. Want to show me your files someday?
Why not today? This way, I keep them right here in my lab. Help yourself, Mr. Regan. Oh, you want a drink?
Too early.
You don't mind if I have one?
Your house.
Didn't find anything?
Not under Santino. She could have used another name.
No, that's possible. When was I supposed to have treated her?
Oh, about a year ago, according to this letter. Here, this is a picture.
No. Oh. I've never treated anyone who looks like that.
Sure.
Positive. What was her illness?
Might have had something to do with that stuff you're drinking. They die from it sometimes.
I see. You can't see it from this window. But just over the hill, my wife is buried. I had special permission from the county, of course, bury her on my property. She was a great comfort to me. We were very close. I haven't been the same since she passed away. And that is why I am no longer in practice.
I didn't ask for that.
Oh, but you did, with your eyes. You're a strange man. Do you enjoy making a living this way, prying into other people's lives, searching for what is best left alone?
Are you still here, Rex?
Yes, Vivi. He's just leaving. You can find your way?
Yeah.
Well, bye, Blue Surge. You were a real disappointment.
Don't give up. I'll be back.
Don't bother, Regan. The doctor will be out.
The whole thing looked phony, like a fan dancer in long underwear. But when I left the two of them, I was beginning to get an idea, just beginning. I walked over the side of the hill to look at that grave. It was there, all right, like he said. Irene Kingston, 1922, 1948. Well, maybe that explained it. Maybe it didn't. I was remembering those New York labels I'd seen on my client's clothes. I called up a friend of mine in the CAA. He checked into it and told me nobody named Santino had come in from Rio on any flight in the last week. And the immigration people didn't have a passport or visa record on her either. I was home thinking about all this when my phone began ringing. It was Irene Santino, and she did all the talking.
I tried to get you at your office, Mr. Regan, but no one answered. I had to speak to you.
What about?
I phoned Carmen.
Say that again.
I phoned Carmen. Or rather, Carmen found me. I feel foolish now, calling you people in and all that. And, Mr. Regan,
Yeah?
it's all confidential. I wouldn't want any of this to get to the wrong people.
You know some of the wrong kind?
Doesn't everyone? Well, goodbye.
Oh, Regan, you run any expenses on this Santino thing?
No.
Good. It's all over.
Well, how do you know? She just phoned me.
Just came from missing persons. There's a cop there named Perini. Got an eye like an eagle. Had that other picture of the Santino dame with me. He took one look at it and opened up a file.
What kind of file?
Dead and unclaimed.
What do you mean?
The county buried her. Carmen Santino's been dead a year.
This is CBS, and you are listening to The Story of the Lady from Brazil, tonight's adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator.
Well, it figured somebody was having nightmares. I didn't say anything to the lion and went down to the Hall of Records. There was a little guy sitting at the desk in vital statistics. His fingernails were dirty, and that wasn't a Harry Drucker haircut he was wearing. He was reading a dictionary, and he must have been at a good part, because he looked mad when I nudged him.
No, we're not in a bus, buddy, so just quit shoving.
I want some information.
Public servant, that's what I'm here for. What kind of information
Death
do you want?
files.
You're such a morbid guy. Got lots of stuff on births and marriages. Why don't you ask me something about them?
Girl named Carmen Santino died about a year ago. Tell me what from.
Okay, take it easy. How do you spell it?
Just like it sounds.
Santino, huh? Yeah, Santino. What's this? Sabatini, Sailor, Sanaki, Sanford. That's what happened to old Sandy. No wonder I ain't seen him around lately.
Just a Santino.
Oh, yes, Santino, yeah. Yes. Santino. Date of death, 15 October, 1948. Cause of death?
Alcoholic poisoning.
Yeah, that's right. How'd you get it?
Never mind. Who signed the certificate?
Rex J. Kingston, M.D.
Okay. Now, here's one more for you. Look up Irene Kingston.
The doc's wife?
Look it up.
Okay, yes. Let's see. Kingsley. Oh, here. Kingston, Irene, 13 October, 1948.
Cause of death?
You guessed it again. The same. Alcoholic poisoning. Hey, this guy couldn't keep a patient.
Well, that filled it in. I could see the plot, but I wasn't sure of the ending. So I didn't waste any time getting over to Irene Santino's place. But I wasn't fast enough. The door was halfway open when I got there. All the company had left, but Irene was still around. She was sitting there looking at the phone like it was all she had to think about.
Miss Reed.
What's so funny?
Excuse me for not getting up, but I didn't expect you. I told you I found my sister and
You told me, but you didn't tell me she was dead.
I didn't even tell you that I haven't got a sister. Did I?
Come on, lady, give it to me. What are you talking about?
This little red spot on my arm. It doesn't look like my sister. But you just wait, Mr. Regan. You just wait. You just wait.
I found a doctor on the floor below. He grabbed his black bag and went to work on her. She quieted down to a slow, inside giggle. Then went out all the way. The doctor got a hold of an ambulance and carted her off to a hospital. They just wheeled her out the door when the lion showed up.
Regan, did I see an ambulance out in front?
That's right. Your client was in it.
Huh?
Somebody stuffed her full of something and made her giggle.
I don't understand all this at all. I stopped by home to change to my dark suit so I could come by and bring Miss Santino the news of her sister's death. And what do I walk
You can
into?
save your tears, Fatso. She didn't come from Brazil and she wasn't rich.
That woman gave me $200 cash. There was nothing unreliable about her. We had a contract.
Well, New Year's coming up. You can use it for confetti.
Now, see here, Regan.
Look at this picture.
Irene Santino. I have one just like it.
All right, draw some glasses on it. Add about 6 or 7 years.
I don't understand you, Regan. We're talking business, and all at once we're playing games.
Look, when I came to see her tonight, she wasn't wearing her glasses. She looked a lot like the dame in this picture.
Well, of course she did, naturally. That's her own sister.
She never had a sister.
Never had a sister? Then who did the county bury?
That's what I'm going to find out from a certain Dr. Kingston.
hoping you'd be back. I built a fire.
I forgot the marshmallows.
We'll think of something else. I'm not mad anymore.
I'm still looking for your doctor.
Well, let me take care of you. I have a way with men.
Didn't we do all this once before?
Well, it's night now. I'm better with the lights low. You can ask me some questions. I know some swell answers.
I'll bet.
How do you like it?
Your way.
There. That's better. Now let's have a nice, quiet evening. Just you and me.
That's why you wore that?
You like it?
You got talent, lady.
Will discover me. There's been a famine of men like you.
You don't look underfed.
Come on, you haven't touched your drink.
I want to see him.
Oh, all right. We could have had such a nice evening. Rex.
What is it?
Mr. Regan's here again.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Regan. Didn't I tell you I'd be out?
You told me that, but you didn't tell me what I wanted to know. Had to go to Vital Statistics to get it.
What?
You don't have anything in your files about Carmen Santino, but you signed her death certificate.
Now, you get this, Regan. I don't have to talk to anyone who comes here without a warrant, and you haven't got one.
When I tell the city attorney's office what I've got, they'll have somebody out here to open that grave on the hill.
What do you mean, Regan?
Irene Kingston died 2 days before Carmen Santino of the same thing. Dr. Kingston signed both certificates, and he collects on his wife's insurance. Only I don't think his wife really died. I think that extra grave on the hill is window dressing.
My wife didn't die, Regan. Where is she now?
I don't know. But she could be around town using the name of Irene Santino. It was a shot in the dark, but it brought results. Kingston swung a lamp base around it, connected on the side of my head. When I came to, I was in a white room in the back of the house. Nothing worked.
Irene,
So I
will you
just lay
please
there.
bring a bottle?
Vivian was standing there with Kingston. He looked sick, like an ostrich with
Will
a
you
sore throat.
please, Irene?
He had a needle in his hand.
I got the shakes.
You do it all right, Rex. Go ahead.
The same treatment you two tried to give Irene.
Should have stayed out, Regan.
I wanted one more look at you, baby.
I hate to see the nice ones go, but it'll be all over in a minute. All right, Rex.
Give me a drink, Vivian. I gotta have a drink.
It won't help. I found Irene in time. She's in a hospital.
What?
She's gonna live. She's gonna talk.
Go ahead,
Irene's
Rex.
still alive?
Rex, give it to him, and then we'll clear out.
I didn't kill her. I didn't kill
It'll
her.
be better this time.
I can't.
Go ahead.
No, I won't.
I said go ahead. I'll shoot you, Rex. I'll shoot you if you don't.
No, you won't. It's all over, Vivian. It's all over.
But Kingston was too much for her. All of a sudden, it began going off. Vivian started to look pale. Then she went down. Slow.
Oh, she deserved that.
That's what you're going to tell the state?
Regan, is Irene really going to live?
That's what the doctor says.
Oh, good. Regan, look, no, don't try to move. I gave you a shot of preparatory solution. You won't be able to move for another hour. I suppose I ought to run.
You won't get far.
I know. Listen to me. Irene is my wife. She's innocent of all this. When you tell the police the real story,
I haven't got it all. I know it started with Carmen Santino.
Oh, she stumbled in one night, dropped dead before I could do anything.
Alcohol.
Yeah. Before she died, she kept talking about a man named Martin.
Lives over on Laurel.
But I didn't get in touch with him. I had a better idea. She looked a great deal like my wife, Irene. It was really quite remarkable.
The insurance.
Yeah. Irene didn't want to do it, but she loved me, so she finally agreed to hide out in New York. I used one body for 2 death certificates, buried an empty box up on the hill. I was supposed to join Irene later. We were going to start a new life together.
Vivian.
Yeah. Vivian came along. I was drinking one night. She found out the truth. I was trapped. Would have stayed that way if Irene hadn't hired you.
Well, it figures she made up that story about a sister from Brazil just to scare you into getting rid of Vivian.
It worked, too. I'm scared stiff.
Yeah, like that guy Martin said. Somebody gets scared, and then you... And everybody.
Regan? Regan, can you hear me?
Huh? Oh, sorry. stuff's making me sleep.
Yeah, that'll wear off. I'm going now, Regan. See that Irene gets a fair shake.
I'll try. He picked up a bottle and started out the door. He didn't even look down at Vivian's body on the floor. I tried to move, but like you said, nothing worked. It was more than 2 hours before I could get to the phone and call homicide. And it was more than 2 days before I talked to the line.
Jeffrey, my boy, how you feeling? Better?
Well, the fog's gone out of my head, if that's what you mean. Otherwise, I feel lousy.
Oh, don't take it so hard, my boy. All in a day's work. Besides, there's the brighter side. Yes, indeed.
Like what?
Well, for one thing, they got that Dr. Kingston. He only got as far as Las Vegas. Crime doesn't pay, Jeffrey. Crime just does not pay.
Doesn't, huh? What's this?
Now, wait a minute. Give me that.
Application, Consolidated Insurance.
It's nothing, I tell you.
You mean to tell me you're going to try to collect rewards?
Well, we did expose an insurance fraud, and there's nothing in the world that stinks like a fraud.
I'll say.
Hey, wait a minute, Regan. Where are you going?
Out to buy an Airwick.
Jeff Regan, Investigator, is written by E. Jack Newman, directed by Sterling Tracy, and stars Frank Graham as Regan, with Frank Nelson as Anthony J. Lyon. Original music is by Dick Arant. Jeff Regan, Investigator, is heard each week at the same time over CBS. Bob Stevenson speaking, and inviting you to be with us again next Wednesday at 9 for more suspense and mystery and adventure with Jeff Regan, Investigator. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
A service of KIBMRadio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. You've been tracking a hold-up man for months. You finally get a line on where he's hiding. You know he's dangerous, well-armed. Your job, get him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, March 18th. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Ed Walker. My name's Friday. It was 9:48 p.m. when I got to room 27A. Robbery detail.
Joe?
Hi, you ready to go?
Yeah, we better hustle.
Here's your top coat, Joe.
Oh, thank you, Ben. Where's Tom?
We can pick him up down the hall. He's checking out some tear gas shells. Might need him.
How about the address? You confirm it?
2100 Buchanan Avenue. It's a corner house.
Skipper? You know what to expect when you get out there. Don't take any chances.
He's alone in the house, all right?
Supposed to be, yeah. That won't give you much of a break.
How do you mean?
He's heavy on guns. 2 revolvers and a hunting rifle.
Yeah.
He's not shy about using them. Don't forget it.
Right, Ed. Slacks, Ben?
Let's go.
Okay.
It's been a long haul.
Yeah, I hope this washes it up.
Hunting rifle, couple of revolvers. What do you think, Joe?
Well, 18 robberies in 3 months. You know the guy as well as I do.
Yeah.
What's your guess? His name was Hoffman, George R. In our files, his criminal record dated back to high school days. Petty theft, grand theft auto, burglary, armed robbery. His record included 2 terms at Preston Reformatory and 1 at San Quentin. Hoffman's latest campaign was a 3-month run of armed robberies. We tried everything we knew to stop him, but it wasn't enough. We'd failed to get a line on him until one of Captain Walker's informants came up with a tip that Hoffman had been hiding out for the past month in a small bungalow on the corner of Buchanan Avenue and Selma Street. According to the information, the suspect had a good supply of food, ammunition, and 3 guns. 10:15 p.m., together with Sergeants Tom Gaffney and Slats Henry, Ben and I parked our car down the street and started toward the house. It was foggy. The street was poorly lighted. As we approached the house, we could see a light burning in one of the rooms at the rear of the bungalow.
The light in the back room, Joe, just went out.
Yeah. Slats, you and Tom want to cover the back?
Right. Let's go, Tom.
Be careful.
Yeah.
All right, Ben. Easy, huh?
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, Joe. Huh? Curtains in that corner room. I thought I saw him move.
Tom, get out!
Come on, Ben, the front door. Yeah, come on. Come on, hit it. Yeah. Come on, hit it again. Yeah, all right. Come on. They got it blocked or something. Something piled against it. Come on, once more.
Watch the furniture, Joe.
Yeah.
That front room's clear.
Come on.
Went out the side window.
Where'd he go?
Across the street. Got him pinned down behind that car there. He's in the car.
All right, let's go for the tires. All right, Hoffman, give it up. Cover this end, Slats.
Right.
Ben, that hedge across the street, you see it?
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's run for it. Come on.
You okay, Joe?
Yeah.
Hoffman, you haven't got a chance. Throw out your guns.
Okay, Ben, give it back here.
All right. I'm coming out.
Throw out your guns. Throw them in the street.
Here they are.
All right, get out of the car. Hands behind your head. Come on.
Uh-huh. All right, hands behind your back now.
Slats.
Yeah?
You want to get our car?
Right, Joe. Who told you? Who gave you the tip?
Does it matter?
I made it easy enough for you. Lousy car wouldn't have started. I'd be 3 miles away if it would have started.
Better call the tow truck, huh, Joe?
Let me give it a look, huh?
Lousy luck, that's all it is.
What was wrong with it, Joe?
I tried it. It wouldn't start for me.
You should have turned on the ignition. George Hoffman was taken downtown and booked on suspicion of robbery. At a special show-up, he was identified by more than a dozen of his robbery victims. Between his arraignments and his preliminary hearings, we worked together with the district attorney's office in lining up witnesses and preparing the evidence against the suspect. We figured we had an airtight case. Hoffman's trial in Superior Court was set for May 14th.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, Slats. What's doing?
It's still arraigning Hoffman?
Yeah, his trial's coming up. Hey, what happened to your eye?
Yeah, how about that? I'll never live with that down.
Yeah, come here, let's see.
First real black eye I ever had. Had 'em bruised plenty. They hurt, you know.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
Well, every week Gaffney and I go up to the neighborhood boys club after work to help coach the kids at sports, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, last week we had boxing lessons.
Yeah.
I was coaching this one youngster. He turned out to be a lot quicker than I thought. You're really connected.
Mm-hmm. I guess everybody in the building's heard the story, huh?
Yeah, just about. Gaffney took care of that. Captain called me in this morning, asked me if I wanted to file assault charges against the kid. Some joke.
Yeah, never fails. You still coaching the kids up there?
No, not this week. Kids are supposed to get lessons in wrestling. I'm not taking any chances.
Yeah?
They've been watching television for months. I'll see you later, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Hi, Ben. How you doing?
Pretty good. Put your coat on, Joe. Yeah? What's the matter?
George Hoffman.
Yeah?
He just broke jail.
The morning of his escape, Hoffman was scheduled to appear in Superior Court for arraignment. According to routine, he was taken from his county jail cell on the 12th floor of the Hall of Justice and escorted to the jail shower room on the 14th floor. There he was to take a bath, change to his civilian clothes for his appearance in court. While he was in the shower room, he turned on the hot water faucets, filling the room with steam to hide his actions from the guard. He succeeded in forcing his way out through one of the windows, climbed up one story to the roof. Realizing that he couldn't escape down through the building, he lowered himself over the ledge of the roof and, using the narrow crevices between the bricks to hold on, he climbed 7 stories down the outside of the building. At the 8th floor, he found an open window and got inside. He slugged the bailiff, who tried to stop him, and then ran down the remaining flights of stairs into the street and disappeared in the crowd. 20 minutes later, he robbed a dentist's office at 3rd and Los Angeles Streets and got away. Police and sheriff's deputies covered the city for him. Ben and I were among them. 11:55 p.m. We checked back in with Captain Ed Walker.
KGPL Los Angeles.
You want to cut that speaker, Ben?
Yeah.
11A, 6 Spring, 118.
Nothing. Not a trace of him.
He must have a good friend someplace in town.
Everything's covered. His friends, relatives, his hideout, everyone he knows, every place he's ever been. We plugged every loophole we can think of. The depots, terminals, the airports, still no trace of him.
Well, I don't know. It sure is a strange one.
No stranger than climbing down the side of a building.
Did you check that story out, Ed?
It's the truth. Apparently, Hoffman planned the thing out pretty carefully.
How do you mean?
The sheriff's men talked to some of the prisoners in the jail. They said Hoffman was practicing for it since the day we put him in there. He'd work out 5 to 6 hours every night, building up his hands and fingers.
How'd he do that?
Use the upper bunk in his cell, hang from the edge of it with the tips of his fingers. He'd do it for hours, pulling his body up and down. Made little grooves in the wall, dug his fingertips into them. Prisoners say he got so he could hold himself up like that 10 minutes at a stretch.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. How about the bailiff he slugged?
He'll be all right. A couple of bad bumps on the head, that's all. Robbery, Walker. Oh, yeah, Little John. I sent them out about 10 minutes ago to relieve you. Yeah, they ought to be there pretty soon. Right.
How about our schedule, Ed?
As far as I know, we're going all night on this thing. Sheriff's office the same.
Mm-hmm.
You two were relieved at 11:30. Better check back about 5:30 a.m. Okay.
Right. It's a hot shot.
I got it.
What is it?
Drugstore holdup. They think it's Hoffman.
The scene of the holdup was the Rex Lake Pharmacy on the corner of Pico Boulevard and Pine Lake Street. The victim, a Mr. Clarence Geringer, told us that the holdup man had entered through a rear door, slugged him, and escaped on foot with his overcoat and about $150 in cash. We showed him a number of mug shots. He identified George Hoffman as the bandit. A special detail of men were ordered on a thorough search of the general area around the drugstore. No sign of the suspect. The citywide Dragnet continued all that night and into the next day. No developments. The search went on. A week passed. 2 weeks. At 10 p.m. on the day Hoffman was scheduled to be tried in Superior Court, he beat up and robbed a 40-year-old liquor salesman in the Highland Park area. Again, he made good his escape. Routine investigation failed to turn up a single lead. June 8th. The suspect was still at large. The legwork continued.
817, is that the address you got?
Yeah, he said it was near the corner.
Oh, yeah, there it is. The Townsend Hobby Shop.
Yeah, let's go in.
Mm-hmm. Joe, look at the electric train. Look at that one. Beautiful layout, huh?
Mm-hmm. I guess that's all they handle in here, electric trains, huh? Must be money in it.
Look at those signals there and switches. They're all automatic. Wonder if my boy's old enough for a train yet.
That must be the manager over there. Come on. Say, excuse me, sir?
Just a moment, please. Be right with you. Got to check this transformer.
All right.
Uh-huh. Automatic coupling on the tanker car looked out. It killed her. My mistake. Now let's see, Jim. Yes, she's a dandy, isn't she?
Sure is.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. Have to keep up our maintenance on the rolling stock. What can I do for you?
Police officers, we're looking for a Mr. Townsend.
Oh, yes, I'm Roy Townsend. Are you the sergeant I talked with on the phone?
Yes, sir, that's right. This is my partner, Sergeant Romero.
Hi, Mr.
Townsend. You mentioned that you might have some information for us.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I may have. About that fellow who climbed out and escaped. What was in all the papers?
George Hoffman.
Hoffman, that's it. I'm a pretty good one for faces. I think I might have seen him last night.
Where was that?
On my way home from the meeting. I belong to a model train club. Don't get enough of it here every day.
Yes, sir. We'd like to know about this man that you saw.
As I say, I saw him going into the auto court just down the street from where Mother and I live. It was pretty late, after midnight.
Where do you live, Mr. Townsend?
Over by Pasadena, Royal Oaks Avenue. I know Mrs. Cox at the auto court very well.
I see. Well, this man that you saw last night, you sure it was Hoffman?
I saw his picture in the paper when he climbed down and escaped. I don't say I'm positive it was him, but I'm good on faces.
Well, wonder if you'd mind checking through these pictures.
Oh, no, not at all. Yeah, this one. He's the one I saw. Am I right?
That's Hoffman. Do you happen to know if he's staying there at that auto court?
Oh, yes. He's been there for a month. Say, Sergeant, if you find out it really is this Hoffman, don't tell Mrs. Cox at the auto court. It'd just break her heart.
Oh, is that so?
She's sort of an amateur detective. She thinks she knows faces better than I do.
After we left the train shop, we called the office and filled them in. Captain Walker called Pasadena and notified them. Then we drove out to the auto court where the suspect was reportedly seen.
Yes, you want something?
Yeah, are you Mrs. Cox?
Yes, I'm the manager here. If you want lodgings, we're filled up. You might try the Golden Eagle straight down the street there.
Police officers, Miss Cox. Do you have Mr. Hoffman staying here?
Hoffman? No, I don't. Got a Hoffmeyer, though. You sure that's not it?
Well, would you look at this picture, ma'am? Recognize it?
Well, yes, but his name's not Hoffman. It's Kane. Number 23. He's not in, though. Left this morning.
Was that so?
Yes, won't be back for another hour.
You are listening to Dragnet, for the solution to an actual case from official police files. Now, here's a real solution to many of your Christmas shopping problems.
If your friends smoke long cigarettes, give the best of long cigarettes. Give king-size Fatima.
You see, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give smokers a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes, rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality, even to the appearance of the distinctive royal blue Fatima gift carton. Christmas wrapped and carefully sealed to ensure Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima, the difference is quality.
So this Christmas, give your friends the best. Give Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
Before going on stakeout at the auto court where George Hoffman was registered, Ben put in a call to the office. The owner of the court, Mrs. Cox, gave us a pass key to cottage number 23 where the suspect was staying. We advised her to say nothing to Hoffman when he returned. We went to cottage 23 and waited. An hour passed. Hoffman failed to show. Another hour went by. Still no sign of him.
Well, what do you think?
You got me. I don't know.
More than an hour overdue. No chance it could have been tipped.
Well, I don't see how. Mrs. Cox is the only one who knows we're here.
There's no reason for her to warn him. I don't know. His things are all here. His clothes.
Well, we've had longer waits than this. Relax, huh?
Yeah. Hey, wait a minute.
Can you see who it is?
Man, coming from next door. Joe?
Okay, I'll cover you. Open it.
Oh, your new telephone directory?
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Anything wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong, thanks. New phone book.
Yeah. We waited another hour. George Hoffman still had failed to appear. At 4 that afternoon, we checked with the office. No word. At 5:30, we were still waiting.
I was just thinking, Joe.
Yeah?
That fellow Townsend in the train shop. That sure must be a dandy hobby, electric train.
Yeah, it runs into money, though, doesn't it?
Well, I think I'll talk to the wife about it. Their education, you know. My boy sure get a kick out of having his own train.
He's pretty young, isn't he? 3 years old?
Well, I could show him how to work it, put things together for him. I'll get it.
All right.
Yeah? Oh, yeah, Lightning. When? Okay, thanks.
What's doing?
Skipper just got a call from Pasadena.
Yeah?
They picked up Hoffman 10 minutes ago.
The suspect, George Hoffman, was taken back to Los Angeles and lodged in county jail. This time there was no escape. At his Superior Court trial on August 16th, he was convicted on several counts of armed robbery and sentenced to the state penitentiary. From August to January of the following year, the months went fast. We washed up a string of liquor store holdups just before Christmas, got 2 days off. My Uncle George and Aunt Allen came down from Renton, Washington to visit with my mother during the holidays. In January, Ben was off work for a week with a bad dose of flu. Another 5 months went by. Toward the end of June, we got word that George Hoffman was no longer at the state penitentiary. After serving 11 months, the former holdup man had been paroled into the Army with the provision that he serve overseas. Another 3 weeks passed. July 12th, Tuesday, Ben and I had lunch at Koken's Cafe and checked back in at the office.
I wish Koken would change his menus a little oftener. Fried beans and pastrami sandwiches seems to have the same thing every time.
Well, you sure dug into them. I got the idea that you'll like them.
Oh, I like them all right. I just eat too much, that's all. 3 sandwiches, 2 plates of beans. No wonder I never eat dinner.
Dan? Joe?
Yeah.
You two back from lunch? I want to grab a sandwich.
Yeah, go ahead, Slats. We can cover.
Okay, thanks. Say, there's somebody waiting in the next room for you. Wants to see you.
Okay, see you later.
Right.
Want to see who it is, Joe? I'll check the book.
Yeah, all right, fine. Yes, sir. My name's Friday. You want to see me?
Yeah, that's right, Sergeant. Remember me? George Hoffman?
Oh, yeah, Hoffman. The Army uniform there. I didn't recognize you.
Yeah, I thought it might fool you. I guess you heard about me. Good break, huh?
I'm glad you feel that way. How you doing with the Army, huh?
Pretty good. I like it.
That's fine.
Just thought I'd drop up and see you fellas. You still that partner you had? What's his name? Rodriguez?
Romero. Yeah, we still work together.
Yeah, Romero. I knew it was some kind of name like that.
Yeah, well, come on in, Hoffman.
Oh, thanks.
Hey, Ben. George Hoffman here. He stopped in to see us.
Oh, yeah.
Hi.
Been a long time, Hoffman. How are you?
Pretty good, Sergeant. Thanks. Just thought I'd stop by, you know. Sure there's no hard feelings?
Oh, sure thing. You got any idea when you're going overseas?
Boys in my outfit figured day after tomorrow. That's kind of one reason why I dropped in to see you.
Well, how's that?
Well, I know it's pretty nervy, but I got lots of that. You see, a bunch of us are on leave till tomorrow noon. Figured we'd go out tonight, and I'm a little short. You know how the Army pays.
Okay, well, how about a couple of bucks, George? Will that do you any good?
Yeah. Sure as swell you, Sergeant. Believe me, I'll see you get it back.
No, here's a couple more, Hoffman. Might help out.
Well, it's no use telling you how much I appreciate it. I give you my word I won't forget it. I'm going to pay this money back to you.
Oh, forget it, George. We're glad to help you out.
Well, thanks again for the touch, huh? Sure nice of you.
Okay.
Now, drop a card if you get a chance. Like to hear how you're doing over there.
Sure thing. See you later, huh?
Right. Good luck to you, boy. Well, looks like a turn for the better anyway, huh?
Mm-hmm. But it was my last $2, doggone it. It never failed.
Well, we had to give him something.
Yeah, but what do I do for lunch money tomorrow?
2 p.m. We drove out to the Wilshire district to interview a robbery victim. We brought him back downtown and took his statement. 4:30 p.m. We checked back in with Captain Walker.
Hi, Skipper. Henry says that ex-con George Hoffman was in today.
Yeah.
We talked to him.
Yeah, that's right, Ed. Why?
Have a look.
Thanks.
The MP's left about 20 minutes ago.
Swell. Your $2 went for nothing, Ben. Hoffman's wanted.
Huh?
Broke out of Army prison 10 o'clock this morning. Together with the Army authorities, local officers joined in the citywide search for George Hoffman. At 10 o'clock that night, a food market on Santa Fe and Rialto was robbed and the proprietor beaten. From our mug shots, the victim identified Hoffman as the hold-up man. Shortly after midnight, a drugstore on Crenshaw was held up. Hoffman was again tabbed as the suspect. The next 2 days, the search was intensified. No leads. 2 more days went by. Late Saturday morning, we got a hurry-up call from the detail on duty at the Union Station. Hoffman had been reported in the vicinity. Ben and I drove down to the depot to check with the officer in charge, Slats Henry.
Spot him, Joe?
No, let's have a look back by the ticket counters, huh? Yeah, there he is over by the phone booth. Come on.
Hi, Slats.
Hi. Looks pretty good.
What's the story?
One of the newsboys up the street gave us a tip. About an hour ago, a guy gave him $1 to come down here and buy a ticket for him. Ticket to Phoenix.
Yeah?
Kid came in, bought the ticket, went back up the street and gave it to the man.
Mm-hmm.
We showed the kid a bunch of mug shots. He picked out Hoffman's.
Yeah, he's not wearing his Army uniform, huh?
No, brown suit, dark blue overcoat, no hat. That's what the kid told us.
Any idea which train he was taking for Phoenix?
Not exactly. He asked when the first train for Phoenix was. The newsboy told him 3:35.
10 minutes to 12 now.
You got enough men to handle it, Slats?
Everything's covered. Only one thing lacking.
Yeah?
Hoffman.
While the stakeout continued on the Union Station, Ben and I, together with Gaffney and Henry from robbery, covered the bars, restaurants, and hotels in the immediate area for a sign of the suspect. 2:30 p.m.
What do you think?
We better head back down for the station, see what's doing, huh?
Yeah, okay. I'd like to have a dime for every mile we've logged on this case.
Yeah.
Joe, have a look.
Where?
Across the street, dark blue overcoat. Same build as Hoffman.
I'll bet on him. Come on.
He spotted us.
Yeah, that's Hoffman. Come on. Pick it up.
I lost him, Joe. Where'd he go?
Turn down First Street. Come on, hurry. Across the street, Ben. Watch the traffic. Where'd he go?
I see him. That antique store on the corner. He ran in there.
Come on. There he is. All right, Hoffman.
Out of the way, mister!
All right, hold it right there, Hoffman.
I'm coming out! Move!
What's it, Joe?
I said I'm coming out. You hear me?
You're going the hard way, George.
Come on, drop it, drop it.
All right, Hoffman. All right, on your feet.
Come on, get up. All right, get your hands behind you.
Sure. What good's it going to do you?
All right, mister, let's go.
What good's it going to do? I already proved it. I can break jail any time. I proved it twice.
You're going right back in again. What's that prove?
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On October 8th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 89, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. To get year-round thanks for the gift you give this Christmas, give Fatimas to every long cigarette smoker on your list. Their first pack of extra mild Fatimas will have them convinced, like I am, that in Fatima the difference is quality. And Christmas Fatimas come in a distinctive royal blue slip-over jacket that makes a perfect gift just as is. Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima the difference is quality. Give Fatimas, the quality king-size cigarette, to every long cigarette smoker.
George R. Hoffman was tried and convicted on several counts of robbery and received a life sentence as a hardened criminal. After serving 10 months of his sentence, Hoffman attempted an escape and failed. A few weeks later, he took his own life in his prison cell by hanging.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week, in answer to your requests, Dragnet will repeat A Gun for Christmas, the actual case history broadcast last year during the Yuletide season. That's next Thursday, December 21st.
You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield always wins first place. That milder, mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
We the People is next with more good times on NBC.
The story you're about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. A small boy is reported missing from his home. His age, 9 years. Foul play is suspected. Your job, find him.
You'll be amazed when you compare Fatima with other long cigarettes.
You'll find they now cost the same. Difference is quality.
You see, Fatima is the quality king-size cigarette because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended. And Fatima is extra mild, with a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
So try comparing Fatima yourself. Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but your first puff will tell you...
Ah, that's different.
Yes, in Fatima, the difference is quality. Ask your dealer for Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes. Start enjoying Fatima tomorrow.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case transcribed from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, December 22nd. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. I was on the way into work, and it was 3:55 p.m. when I got to room 42. Homicide.
Hi, Joe.
Ben? Well, here's the file on the Webster case.
Have all the follow-ups been made?
Yeah. I get it. Homicide, Friday.
This Levinson, Unit 113J, got something for you.
Yeah, Harry, what's doing?
Doherty and I are out here on Commerce Avenue, 4656, trying to track down a 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, what's the story?
The kid's missing, suspicion of foul play.
How long's he been gone?
About 2 hours. Looks like a job for homicide.
Well, how'd he figure?
The kid was last seen playing in the backyard of his home.
Yeah?
We checked over the yard.
Did you find anything?
Bloodstains, lots of them. They look new.
Ben and I left a message for Chief of Detectives Thad Brown. Then we went over to the crime lab, picked up Lieutenant Lee Jones, and drove out the Arroyo Seco Freeway to Collis Avenue. was an average neighborhood. Number 4656 was a one-story green stucco residence situated on the corner of Collis Avenue and Harrison Drive. Beyond the backyard was a tract of undeveloped land covered with scrub oak. Harry Levinson from Highland Park Juvenile was waiting for us in front of the house.
Let's back this way, fellas.
Coming, Lee?
Till I get my bag.
Who notified you that the boy was missing, Harry?
The mother said she went out to do some Christmas shopping about 11 this morning, left the boy home. She came back about 2 this afternoon. He was gone.
What's the name?
Johnstone. The kid's name is Stanley, 9 years old.
Was this gate open like this when you got here?
Yeah, I haven't touched a thing. I hear the stains over here, Lieutenant Jones, along the edge of the walk. See?
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, quite a few stains, huh?
Yeah. Looks like it might be blood. Try some benzodine on them. There we are. See what happened?
Where's the kid's mother now, Harry?
Yeah, in the house. Doherty's talking to her.
Did you talk to any of the neighbors?
People next door, the ones on this side. They couldn't tell us anything.
There it is, fellas.
Yeah, Lee.
These spots I covered with benzodine, they're turning blue. Bloodstains, all right. Can't say definitely whether it's human or animal blood.
Do you have to go back to the lab to run it through?
Yeah, biological precipitant test. Hand me one of those glass files from my bag, will you?
Yeah, sure. Okay, here you go.
Thanks. Scrape some flakes off for a test. There we are.
How soon can you tap the blood for us, Lee?
Precipitant test won't run more than 20 minutes. It'll take 3 or 4 hours to run a blood grouping, though. That's it. Anything else you want to check?
Levinson? Anything else?
Oh, yeah. Right here in my handkerchief. Empty shell. That marker over there by the rose bush? That's where I found it.
From a 22, huh?
Yeah. Might tie in, might not.
Mark it and dump it in this envelope, will you?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah. Did you get out a missing broadcast on the boy here?
Doherty did about a half an hour ago. Here's a description here.
Thank you.
Will Mother know about the bloodstains?
No, we didn't tell her. She's worried enough already.
She has no idea what might have happened to her boy, huh?
No more than we do. She checked all her friends and relatives. We're covering the neighborhood. No trace so far.
Not much to go on.
Bloodstains. Empty cartridge.
Yeah, it could mean 100 things.
Any ideas, Friday?
Just one, and I don't like it. 4:30 p.m. Thursday, December 22nd. The neighborhood search for 9-year-old Stanley Johnstone continued. Lee Jones went back to the crime lab to start the precipitant test and the blood grouping. Levinson and his partner Doherty from Highland Juvenile stood by. We called Chief of Detectives Thad Brown, and he ordered up a special detail to aid in the search for the missing boy. Ben and I questioned the boy's mother, Mrs. Ruth Johnstone, a woman in her early 40s. She seemed fairly calm under the circumstances.
Miss Johnson, is your boy Stanley in the habit of wandering off without telling you where he's going?
No, he's not in the habit of wandering off, but he has done it before.
Well, when was the last time, Miss Johnstone?
You don't have any children, do you, Sergeant Friday?
No, ma'am, I'm not married.
Well, there comes a time in every young boy's life when he feels it is time to leave home, go out on his own. Usually happens somewhere around 8 to 10.
I think I know what you mean. I have a boy.
Well, then you know how it is. My husband and I scolded Stanley one afternoon after school, and he was quite put out about it. Thought George and I were unfair. Packed a few of his things and left.
Well, how long was he gone?
Oh, no time at all, about 2 hours. I was worried about him, but my husband said to leave him alone. Said every boy had to go through that stage.
Mm-hmm. Well, then you think that he's run away from home again this time?
Yes, I think so. He's been gone about 4 hours now, and I have a funny feeling about it.
Did you and his father have some misunderstanding with the boy recently?
Well, that's just it. We haven't. I don't mind telling you now that we're talking about it. I am getting worried.
Well, is there any place around that he might like to visit, a hobby shop, playground, someplace he might be?
Yes, there's Jensen's model shop, Little Shannon Burroughs, but I've already called there, and he hasn't been seen all day. I've called all his friends, and they have no idea where he is either.
Well, we'd like a list of all of his friends and the places that he was known to frequent.
Yes, all right, I'll give them to you. Where do you suppose he is?
Where's your husband now, Miss Johnson?
At work. George works for the city. He's a fireman.
What house is he stationed at?
Engine Company 12. He's working the 8th platoon. He'll be home tomorrow morning. I haven't told him Stanley's gone.
Well, is there any chance that the boy might be down at the firehouse with his father?
No, he seldom goes down there anymore. No, I don't think he's there. I'm awfully worried. May I call my husband?
Well, certainly. Go right ahead.
I know George will be worried. Engine Company 12, please. Stanley's been gone too long. Hello? May I please speak with George Johnstone? This is Mrs. Johnstone. Thank you. Oh, I hate to call George at his work.
Yes, ma'am. Does your husband own a gun?
Yes, he does.
What caliber, do you know?
What's a .45 automatic? He got a knife. George? This is Ruth. George, is Stanley down there with you by any chance? Oh. No, I can't find him anywhere. He wasn't here when I came home from doing my shopping. There are 2 policemen here. No, I said there are 2 policemen here. No, dear, I'll call you if we don't find him soon. All right, dear. Yes, you too. Goodbye. I didn't think he'd be with George.
A .45, is that the only gun in the household?
Yes. Why are you asking about guns? Has anything happened that you're not telling me about?
No, ma'am, just routine checking. We'll have to take a look at that .45 if you don't mind.
Maybe I should tell you we do have another gun in the house, but it's all wrapped up. George bought it for Stanley's Christmas present.
What if we could see it, please?
Yes, well, will you have to unwrap it?
Yes, ma'am, I'm afraid so.
It's in the closet. I think I can reach it. They had to hide it. Let me see. Well, here's the paper it was wrapped in. Stanley must have found it. It's gone. You see, here's the gift card and the box the gun came in, the rifle.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if I could look at that box, ma'am. Thanks.
How about it, Joe?
.22 caliber. Thursday, December 22nd, 5:15 p.m. It was getting dark. The search for the missing boy continued. We checked the list of Stanley Johnstone's friends. None of them or their parents had any idea of his whereabouts. We talked with Levinson again. He'd been in touch with the detail combing the neighborhood. They'd found nothing. We went down to Collis Avenue and 10th Street, service station on the corner.
1 nickel, Joe?
No, I got one. Will you watch the fan?
Yeah.
Okay.
City Hall?
2667, please.
2667?
Crime Lab, Jones.
Hi, Lee. Joe Friday.
Yeah, Joe. Any sign of the Johnson kid?
No, not yet. How are you coming?
Finished the precipitant test. It's human blood.
Yeah?
Working on the blood group now. Do you know what type the Johnson boy has?
Well, I didn't want to upset his mother. Thought I'd wait till the last thing. We're in the neighborhood.
Check with the family physician. That way you won't disturb her.
Yeah, I figured on that. Just a minute, Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, babe.
Lost is pulled up.
Okay. Thad Brown's out here now. I'll check you later, Lee, huh?
All right, Joe.
Right, bye.
Bye.
Oh, here's what, Jim.
Gentlemen, how's it going?
We just checked with Lee Jones.
Yeah, I know. It's human blood. What do you think?
We talked with the boy's mother, Mrs. Johnstone, found a gun missing.
Yeah?
Caliber's the same as the empty casing Levinson found. It's .22.
You said the gun was missing?
Yeah, the Johnstones were going to give it to the boys a Christmas present. They had it hidden, but it's gone.
Any idea who took it?
Well, they left the Christmas wrapping behind. I think it was the kid.
.22 rifle, huh? 9-year-old boy. When are they going to learn? First, it's carbide cannons on the 4th of July. The city issued ordinance after ordinance. A few thousand kids around the country had to lose their eyes, fingers, hands before their parents would give us their full cooperation to outlaw them.
I know what you mean.
Sure you do. You and every other cop in the country became the heavies trying to clamp down on them. It's always the same story. This time it's guns for Christmas.
Well, I know what you're thinking, but we're not sure yet.
Listen, Friday. There's a city ordinance against giving a gun to a kid. You know that.
Yeah, I know that.
There's a missing boy and a missing gun. There's blood on the ground and an empty shell. That's enough for me.
Well, we're going to stay with it. Something's got to break.
Yeah? I hope it's not the hearts of that kid's parents.
Hi, Chief. Been looking for you, Friday.
What do you got, Harry?
Found the gun. New .22 rifle. I'd say it's been fired recently.
Where'd you find it, Levinson?
Back up there in that scrub oak behind the Johnstone house. Mrs. Johnstone identified it. Buckley took it down to crime lab.
Thanks, Harry. Miss Johnstone okay?
Pretty sick now. Doherty came up with something else.
What's that?
There's another one missing. An 8-year-old boy.
6:30 p.m. We talked with Officer Doherty about the other missing boy. He told us that his name was Stephen Moorheim, 8 years old. His family had just moved into the neighborhood. It seemed that no one besides the Moorheim family knew that the boys played together. Mrs. Moorheim told us that Stephen told her that he was going out to play He'd be home by 6 o'clock for dinner. She told us that he was an unusually prompt boy and almost never overstayed his playtime. We got a description of the Moorheim boy and put out a missing broadcast. We called the Johnstones' family doctor. He told us that Stanley's blood was type O. At 7 p.m., we talked again with Mrs. John Moorheim.
Are you sure Mrs. Johnstone doesn't know where the boys are?
She has no idea, Mrs. Moorheim.
Oh, this is terrible. Just awful. I feel there's more to this thing, something you're not telling me.
Well, there's no use to upset you until we know a few things for sure.
And you're holding back something.
Well, now, please try not to worry, Miss Moorheim. There are certain things that we're going to have to ask you, routine questions in any kind of investigation.
Is there anything else you want to know?
Yes, ma'am. What is your boy's blood type?
It's a funny question. Do you think anything's happened to him? Have you found him and you're not telling me?
No, ma'am, we haven't found him, and we don't think anything's happened to him.
His blood type?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think I have it written down in Stevie's baby book. Yes, here it is. It's type O.
Thank you. I wonder if I might use your phone?
Yes, of course, it's in the hall.
I'll be right back, Ben.
Okay.
City Hall.
2667, please.
2667?
Crime lab, thank you.
Hello, Ray. This is Joe Friday. Is Lee there?
Just a minute, Joe. Take two, Lee.
John speaking.
Checking back, Lee.
Did you get the blood types on the two missing boys?
Yeah, both type O.
So were the stains, Joe. Type O.
You are listening to Dragnet for the solution to an actual case from official police files. Now, here's a real solution to many of your Christmas shopping problems.
If your friends smoke long cigarettes, give the best of long cigarettes. Give king-size Fatima.
You see, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes, but in Fatima, the difference is quality.
Quality of tobaccos. The finest Turkish and domestic varieties, extra mild and superbly blended, to give smokers a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette.
Quality of manufacture. Smooth, plump cigarettes rolled in the finest paper money can buy.
Quality. Even to the appearance of the distinctive royal blue Fatima gift carton. Christmas wrapped and carefully sealed to ensure Fatima's rich, fresh, extra mild flavor.
Remember, Fatimas now cost the same as other long cigarettes. But in Fatima, the difference is quality.
So this Christmas, give your friends the best. Give Fatima, the quality king-size cigarette. Best of all long cigarettes.
8 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. Still no sign of either of the missing boys. Chief of Detectives Thad Brown went back to headquarters to direct the search from there. He dispatched another detail of 50 men to aid in the hunt for the missing youngsters. 8:30 p.m. It was getting colder. The citrus growers were warned to expect a freeze. We went up the block to see Mrs. Johnstone. Her husband had quit work early and returned home. We talked with him. He could tell us nothing more than we already knew. We still had not informed either of the families about the bloodstains in the empty cartridge casing, which had been discovered in the backyard of the Johnstone home. It was more than possible that they had a right to know about our findings, but Ben and I felt there was no cause to add to the distress of the two families at this time. If the two missing boys were found alive and well, then the bloodstains in the cartridge would be of no concern to the relieved parents. At 8:40 p.m., Ben and I left the Johnstone house and went to the home of Mr. and Mrs. John Moorheim.
Miss Moorheim, you said your husband worked at a market?
Yes, he telephoned about 15 minutes ago, said he's closing up right away. He'll be here any minute. Do wish Stevie would call, come home. It's so cold out tonight. All he had on was a thin cotton jacket.
We'll try not to worry. We're doing everything we can. He'll be all right.
Stevie's father's such a sensitive man. He and the boy are so close. I know he's terribly upset.
Now, you're sure there's no place that you might have forgotten, someplace where the boy might be?
No place. No. If anything's happened to the boy, it'll just kill John.
No.
You sit still. I'll get it, Miss Moorheim.
Joe?
Yeah, Harry.
The Johnstone kid, he's been found.
He's home, Sergeant. He's come home. Thank God he's all right.
Where's he been? Did he tell you?
No, he didn't. His clothes are all dirty and he's acting strange. I've never seen him like this.
How do you mean, Miss Johnston?
Well, he just came to the front door and said, "Hello, Mom." He sat down in a chair and stared at the floor. Won't talk to his father or me.
You mind if I talk to him?
No, go ahead. I asked him about the little Moorheim boy, but he wouldn't tell me a thing.
Where is he now?
Right over there in the living room.
Looks all right.
Yes. Son, this is a police officer. He wants to talk to you. Don't be afraid, dear. He only wants to ask you some questions. Son. You see, Sergeant?
Stanley, look at me, son. Come on, youngster, get your head up there. That's better. You had your mother pretty worried, you know that. You want to tell us where you've been?
We should try to get him to eat a little something.
You hear that, son? Want something to eat? Stanley, there's another little boy up the street who hasn't come home. You know where he is? His father and mother are worried about him, too. Just like your folks were. We're going to ask you to help us find him.
I killed him. I killed Steve with the .22. We were only playing, but I killed him.
How do you know you killed him? Maybe he's only hurt now, isn't that it?
No, he's dead. I know he's dead. The gun went off. I forgot we put bullets in there.
Where is he, Stanley?
I hit him. I was scared. I didn't want anybody to find him.
Where did you hide him, son?
In a cave up on the hill. I didn't mean it. He was my pal.
Do you want to show us where, Stanley?
Yes, I'll show you. Please, don't send me to jail.
.15 p.m., Thursday, December 22nd. 9-year-old Stanley Johnstone led the way up the hill behind the backyard of his home. He showed us the wagon he moved the body in. His father came along with us. About 50 feet from the crest of the hill, the boy pointed to a thicket of scrub oak. There we found a small cave holding the body of Stephen Moorheim. There was a single bullet wound in his chest just below his heart. He was dead. We covered the body.
Stanley, how did it happen?
I knew my folks were going to give me the gun for Christmas. I knew where it was, and I got it. There was a box of bullets with it.
Were you pointing the gun at Stevenson?
No, sir. No, sir, I wasn't. It was Steve's turn to play with it. I was chasing him. He tripped over that stump there, and he fell. Gun hit him in the stomach, and it went off.
Well, why do you think you killed him if you're telling us the truth?
I'm telling the truth. Honest, that's the truth.
Well, I believe you, son, but why do you think you killed him?
It was my gun. Stevie'd still be alive if I didn't go and get it. Should have waited till Christmas. It's all my fault.
Well, where have you been all this time?
In the cave with Steve.
Well, what were you doing in there, son?
I was praying. I was praying for God to make him alive again.
After a thorough investigation, Ben and I were convinced that the shooting of Stephen Moorheim was accidental. Lieutenant Lee Jones' findings substantiated the Johnstone boy's story even to the smallest detail. We put in a call to the coroner's office and acquainted him with the facts. He designated a local mortuary to handle the body pending autopsy and granted us permission to remove the body to the Moorheim home. Mrs. Moorheim collapsed. The family doctor was called. Ben and I sat in the living room to wait for John Moorheim, the dead boy's father.
Edith? Edith?
Mr. Moorheim?
Yeah, you the police?
Yes.
Well, where's Edith? Where's my wife? Has my boy come home? Have you found him?
Yes, sir.
Well, where is he? Steve? Stevie? Where's Steve? He's hurt, isn't he?
Yes, sir, he is.
Well, where is he? I want to see him.
He's hurt bad, Mr. Moorheim.
Where is he? I want to see him. How bad?
Pretty bad.
He's dead. All right if I go in?
Yes, sir, if you want to.
Will you go with me?
Sure. Don't make it any harder on yourself, Mr. Morgan.
I want to see my boy.
Mr. Morheim.
Listen to me, son. We got you a lot of nice things for Christmas. Everything you wanted. I got you the 3 new cars for the train. That one with a searchlight on it really works, son. I got you that new switch you wanted. A lot more track. Oh, now you can have a big layout. And you know that new baseball mitt we saw? I got it for you. The cowboy outfit you want. I got it.
Mr. Morheim.
Come on, Joe.
What happened?
It was an accident. He was playing with a Johnstone boy up the street. Playing with a gun. It went off.
What was the other boy's name?
Stanley Johnstone. It was an accident.
Mr. Morheim, where are you going?
I want to see that boy.
We had no idea what the dead boy's father had in mind. We didn't feel that we should try to restrain him. We went along with him up the street to the Johnstone home.
I'm Stevie's father. Where's your boy?
I'm sorry. We bought the rifle. We were going to tell him not to use it unless his father was with him until he learned how to treat firearms.
Where's your boy?
Right here. Won't you come in?
It's all right, Miss Johnstone.
You're the boy that was with Stevie?
Yes, sir.
What's your name?
Stanley.
I know it wasn't your fault, Stanley. Wonder if you'd do something for me.
Yes, sir.
I've got a lot of nice presents for Stevie. I know he'd want you to have them. I want to give them to you Christmas Eve.
Mom?
I think that'd be a fine idea, son.
Come on, Ben.
Well, what's it all prove, Joe?
You don't give a kid a gun for Christmas.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On December 24th, 1948, a coroner's inquest was held in the county morgue, city and county of Los Angeles, state of California. In a moment, the results of that inquest.
Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. To get year-round thanks for the gift you give this Christmas, give cartons of Fatimas to every long cigarette smoker on your list. Christmas Fatimas in the special royal blue slip-over jacket make a perfect gift just as is. And to my friends who sell Fatimas, the retail dealers and the wholesale distributors all over America, to each one of you, a special season's greeting. And to everyone, a Merry Christmas.
At the coroner's inquest, it was officially recorded that Stephen Morheim's death was the result of an accident. Stanley Johnstone was absolved of any legal responsibility for his friend's death. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.H. Parker, Los Angeles Police Department.
This is Bob Hope. Can we steal a second?
Chesterfield, Chesterfield always wins first place. That milder, mild tobacco never leaves an aftertaste.
So open a pack, give 'em a smell.
Then you smoke 'em.
Don't forget to give Crosby for Christmas. I mean the Chesterfield Christmas carton with Bing as Papa Santa Claus. See you Tuesday.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet, portions transcribed from Los Angeles.
We the People is next with more Good Times on NBC.